Okay, Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. You two girls, tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. Tonight, one night only, every night, Space and Rocket Review. And it's ladies' night at the Palace Hotel Ballroom. Do people get that joke? I don't even know. Anyway, if you do, good for you. All right, let's transfer over the links. Wind car, truck, and motorcycle review. I mean, I am currently redoing my automotive streaming setup. And, yeah. I should have that done soon. I'm just transferring all the links over, and we will have a special guest here in voice. I'm not sure we're going to need the whole address there, but, you know. All right. You know what? We'll cut that part out. Yeah, there we go. All right. Who's ready to go? You thought ship 40 was big. How big is that Forte ship? Forte is big. That is a... You know what? You know what the thing is? It's not that big. Forte is not a big ship. It's pretty big, but it's not the biggest. It's pretty big, though. Let me just organize these links here. It's freaking all SpaceX news. It's practically... It's all SpaceX news, except for that. We'll start with some non-SpaceX news, I guess. I guess. I have a couple more things that I want to compile in together, and then we should be good to go. Okay, I got everything. All right. Let's get into Discord. Ryan, are you there?
I might be here. How's it going?
It's going, man. It's going.
Well, how's vacation?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, did a lot of car stuff. Not sure if that's your cup of tea, but did a lot of car stuff.
I mean, I've putts with things in the past. I mean, I work on airplanes, so, you know.
I went to a Cletus McFarlane racing event, the Michigan 100, and watched a bunch of guys in Crown Vics with nitrous race around a track. Does that sound like
That
fun?
actually sounds pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
It sounds relaxing and getting away from things. So it's kind of, yeah.
No, it was great. Then, let's see, what did I do? So we went to that, and then we went to Woodward Dream Cruise, which is where like half of Detroit shuts down and just becomes some gigantic car show, which is pretty sick. Yep. Saw a lot of cars. Hey, Kronk, $4.99 super chat, $5 super chat. Vacation recovery ops. Yep. They're good. I also just hugged Titan. My dog is stoned out of his mind right now. He was at the vet today getting all of his shots. They sedated him because he does not like shots. So he was sitting on the ground basically like this in my house going. And then I picked him up and he's like, what is going on right now? What are you doing? So yeah, I have dogs hair all over me. Is this real life? Yeah, it was exactly like that and it was awesome. So then we went to the Woodward Dream Cruise, and then throughout the week, we did something called a Dragon Drive, Ryan, and it's a Dragon Drive. It's called Sick Michigan Miles, and basically there's 3 drag strips that are a couple hundred miles away from each other, and it's over 3 days, and you have to put a time down on day 1 at the first drag strip, day 2 the second one, day 3 the third one. Thing is, you drag race the car. Put a time down. Thing is you got to drive. You got to drive the car that you put the time down in to the second drag strip. You can't trailer it. No trailering allowed. Right?
So it's got to do drag strip stuff, plus it's got to be able to go on the regular road.
Yep. So it's street legal stuff only, which is dragon drives are fun. And then whoever wins at if you take the 3 times that you put down at each drag strip, you combine them together. Whoever has the lowest time wins a lot of money. Drag racing, yeah, dragon drives are all over the place, dude. This one is called Sick Michigan Miles. It was about 1,000 miles. So you have to make a car that can do 1,000 miles, but also can put down the fastest time at a drag strip. So dragon drives.
Impressive.
Dragon drives are fun, dude. Yeah, they're. I'm not saying that I want to do that with one of my cars next year, but I want to do that with one of my cars next year and then stream the whole thing. What car won? That is a very good question. We only went to day 1 of Sick Michigan Miles. We only did one of them. Let's see. Let's take a look. So Aiden Bailey won. That it's a 57 210 57 Chevy 210 station wagon. So Stanton is the one that we went to. But yeah, they went to Stanton, to Kaleva, then to Ubley, and then they canceled Lapeer because it rained too much. They went back to Stanton instead. Yeah. Hey Oliver, what's up? So where'd the guy with the Fairmont go? I talked to a guy with a Ford Fairmont. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I talked to that dude. That dude's cool. He had a 79 Fairmont. So that Chevy 210 here, let me show you what that thing looks like. Yeah. Okay. This is
Sick Michigan Miles.
This is Aiden Bailey is Tom Bailey's son. If you don't know Tom Bailey is, he's a legendary drag racer.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That's the Camaro that was in the running results. That is a street legal car. I don't know how, but it is. Yeah. And then the
Don't
Chevy.
question it.
No,
It just is.
you can change the tires though. That's the thing. You can change the tires on the car, but you got to take the tires with you. So you have to have like a trailer. So a lot of these dragsters have like trailer hitches and stuff. Aiden's Chevy is over.
Discovery,
Dude,
go
there's
at throttle up.
that Chevy 210 is a freaking bullet. That thing goes so fast, dude. I won't show you. You should go watch the channel.
It's a boxy car that goes nuts.
Dude, yeah, that thing was very quick. I'm trying to find that Chevy 210. It's in here somewhere. Hey, medic, what's going on? Oh, that's meat snack. Oh, okay, cool. That is a Chevy 210 and a Gasser Falcon, but that's not what we want. Ah, here it is. That's the Chevy 210. Yeah. Dude, the thing's mint. It's color, rust.
Yeah, right?
No, all these cars are street legal. They have registrations. Yeah, that Camaro is I don't know, an 85 Monty, and then an 80 Malibu. Rust. Is this space or rocket? Yes.
210 color rust.
Yep.
There you
Yep.
go.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say that that's an apt description.
So yeah, if you watch Tom's videos, that was from 2 days ago. This is the day that I was there. If you watch some of these cars going down the road, oh, there's the 70 Super B. I watched that car go down the road. I just clicked randomly. If you look in the stands, me and Bree's dad should be sitting there somewhere. Dude, that thing's a freaking bullet. Where are we? We would be... We were sitting right there, so we must... Hold on. Let me back this up. I know I saw that 70 went down the road. I saw it go down the track. Give me 1 sec. I'll find it, and then we get to the rockets. Oh, he dipped the damn camera. I should be just over there, just to the right of this shot. That's where we were sitting. Yep. Yep. There I am. Hi. That's pretty funny, dude. Yep. See? That's me.
You're wondering how I got here.
This is me. You're probably wondering how I got there. And if you're lucky, your Cornet will manage to get to the end of the quarter mile. Dude, that Super B is very, very fast. Bro. Yeah, no, it was sick. So we did that, and then did the Woodward Dream Cruise. Or not Woodward, we did Woodward the first weekend, and then we did the Heinz Dream Cruise the second weekend. Now, check this out, guys. This is the last card thing that I want to show you. Give me one moment. You want an idea how ridiculous Heinz is? Here. Look.
A bell?
Oh, that ain't no bell. That ain't no bell.
Horn?
If
Intake?
No. Well, speaker. Here.
Oh.
You've never seen the Blues Brothers?
Oh, right. It's been a while. Oh, I remember now.
Is that good? Right? Dude, I saw everything. I covered the spread on like any American car from 65 to 75. We saw everything. I mean, it's a car show in Detroit. I don't know what you're expecting, but also, oh, how many kits were there? I saw one kit at Woodward. Yep, we saw Kit, saw General Lee, Ecto 1, Bluesmobile, Mystery Machine, Mach 5, Gen 1 Batmobile. Dude, you name it. I'm telling you, every single car. Nader, I covered the spread on Corvettes. I didn't see a 63 split window, but basically 64 to 82 every year. All of them. How many did you see? Yes. Did you get up north at all? Furthest north we went was Mid-Michigan Motorplex, which is about halfway up the mitten. I saw every permutation of C8 that they rolled. Dude, there was just lines of C8s for miles. But yeah. They were ripping it out in the dunes. Yeah, Cleater was. Yeah. Dude, I went and saw his event. Cleater's event was jam-packed, dude. He packed a short track full with like 15,000 people. I also got to see the Charger EV eat crap and hit a wall at full speed. That was funny. I'm glad Downforce Danny's okay. But yeah. Dude, everything. We covered the spread on Camaros from like 1967 to 2000. Covered the spread on Mustangs 65 to 2000. Every type of Charger that matters. I saw every Coronet, every two-door permutation of the Coronet from 65 to 70 I saw. RTs, 440s, 500s, Super Bs. It was just... I'm bringing the streaming setup next time, guys. And we're gonna stream it. Oh yeah, I'm bringing the setup next time. Oh, that's not worth it, drummer. Anyway, enough cars. Fleet event was awesome watching in the pay-per-view. I'm in turn 4 stands, David. In the front row. Yeah, I don't know. Well, second row. But yeah, I was in the turn 4 stands if you want to go see me. And I showed up. It's funny, I showed up in Tom Bailey's videos. That's funny. I don't know if you guys know Cletus McFarland. It was that he's a YouTuber, but Cletus McFarland is a character, right? And he made up the character by walking around one of Tom Bailey's dragsters. So Tom Bailey is kind of like the reason why the character Cletus McFarland exists. If you want some lore, so that's pretty cool, dude. I talked to him, so that was kind of sweet. All right. Anyway, Ryan, shall we space?
Sure. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's get through the non-SpaceX stuff first, which is like 3 things.
There wasn't much else, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got. I didn't see a DeLorean Time Machine W. I saw a DeLorean, though. Yeah, absolutely. You should find a driving event that's happening in Florida or Texas around the same time as a rocket launch. I got invited to Night of Fire in November. So, also may or may not want to do that sick Michigan next time with the Mustang. We should do it with the Mustang, guys. Yeah, we should. I should get the Mustang like tip top, and we should do a drag and drive with it next year. Yep. No, you know what? I just decided that's what we're gonna do. Or we could use the Coronet. I don't know. Whatever. All right, so ESA confirms Ariane 6 Block 3 upgrades have been shelved.
Well,
this is from Andrew Parsonson over at European Spaceflight. All right, the European Space Agency has confirmed to European Spaceflight that it is no longer considering the Ariane 6 Block 3 evolution, saying there's no program need or justification for the evolution at this time. Questions regarding the scrapping of the Block 3 upgrades arose earlier this month after Space Scout reported that an ESA study team had been told Ariane 6 Block 2 would be the rocket's final major version, forcing it to rework a proposed Enceladus mission, a planned probe to Saturn's icy moon, that had been based on the more capable Block 3 variant of the 4-booster Ariane 6-4 rocket. A key element of this now scrapped evolution Ariane 6 was the Icarus lightweight upper stage. In emailed responses to questions from European Spaceflight, an ESA spokesperson said the near-term roadmap for Ariane 6 upgrades includes the already introduced P160C boosters and a lighter Vulcan aft bay to increase launcher performance and competitiveness. This will be followed by the introduction of the Astris orbital transfer vehicle in around 2029, which a spokesperson said will bring significant additional capabilities to the Ariane 6 ecosystem. While the presentation slide was unequivocal in stating that Ariane 6 would not be developed further, the ESA spokesperson was less definitive about the rocket's longer-term evolution, which could include upgrades necessary for human spaceflight capability.
for Europe?
Yeah.
I would just say, like, okay, well, yeah, Ariane 6 is an expendable rocket. Now shove everything. What's Europeans' reusable architecture again? What are they R&Ding? I forget. But like, focus all your money on that then, because as we'll talk about later, like the amount of reusable rockets that are going to be flying in the next decade is going to be stupid to where anything that's expendable is like, why are you even in the market? Why are you trying?
Yeah. Guys, we let's shelf this like they're shelving their plans. Just, I want you, if you're here and watching this, when we get to the Starship stuff and the SpaceX stuff, I just want you to remember this. Just take this that, oh, we're shelving our plans. We're going to go with this. And, we're going to keep using this for the time being. We might upgrade it. We might make it human rated in the future. All right. Just remember that. Just log that back here for me. Okay.
Log back in the noggin.
Yeah. Just put it over here. Chazbomb, you sent Chris B an NSF application and he says he was passing it on to some of the production people. It's been a little under 2 weeks. I just wanted to ask if you think I should follow up. Yes. Business at
Chris is
NASA
busy.
Space. Yeah, business at NASAspaceflight.com. Do it.
Chris is always busy. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, he's out and about. But yeah, dude, I'll ping some people if needed. All right. Cool. Yeah, just remember this Ariane 6 stuff. All right, next bit of news. So NASA, this is coming from NASA Marshall. Another milestone welded into place. Technicians at NASA Marshall recently welded the forward ring on the bottom of the Artemis 3 spacer barrel section. The spacer will take the place of the ICPS on the mission. Next up, we'll be installing the aft ring at the top of the barrel. Okay, so Artemis 3.
The spacer?
Yeah, that's the ICPS spacer piece.
The mat. Well, my guess is they'll have to add mass into that in order to, try to make it as real as they can. Which then you have to add LOX mass. So
concrete block. Do it. Or you could, put Orion on something else.
That is supposed to be ready in, well, I mean, they still have a while. They still got 10 months to finish that.
Oh yeah, this I'm not the spacer bracket's gonna be fine. I ain't worried about that.
It's a few other things I am.
What is the goal of Artemis 3? So Artemis 3 is gonna be an SLS launch to low Earth orbit, which is why they put the spacer bracket. They're putting the spacer bracket in there because they don't need an upper stage. And it's going to dock with demo versions. Huge emphasis on demo versions of the 2 lunar landers that are going to be used for sustainable lunar exploration over the next 10 years. One of them is a SpaceX Human Landing System, HLS demo prototype, which is basically just a Starship with a docking port crudely pasted on the front. At least that's what it is right now. It could tentatively change. And the other one is Blue Moon Mark II, which is a smaller lander with a side-mounted docking port that's going to be launched by the Blue Origin, who doesn't have a launch pad currently. So yeah, as Ryan and I were saying, they got some time. Artemis 3 is scheduled to go about not next year at this time. So I don't know. You said like 8 to 10 months, I think would be correct. Artemis 6's core stage started assembly a couple days ago. They did. EJ, are you going to get a boost as there are some ESA are going to get a boost as there are some EU missions being developed, but as they are decades behind the rest of the world. Ryan, I think Ryan hit the nail on the head, guys. Yeah, remember, expendable rockets, no longer term upgrade path. Just remember that.
Yeah, and that kind of goes along with it. I've been waiting to see if ULA will say anything reusability-wise, but the fact that they have not yet after this much time makes me think they're going to fly Vulcan until no one buys their rocket anymore, and then ULA is just going to be disbanded. Because, if
really hope that doesn't
Boeing
happen,
and Lockheed actually cared and wanted to stay in the launch market, they would develop a reusable rocket. but they are so far behind at this point that it would take so long, and neither of them really want to spend the money on it because Boeing is focused on the biggest contract they've had in forever, which is the F-47, and Lockheed is entirely focused on the F-35 these days, plus, Skunk Works. So,
to be fair, the F-35 contracts are quite good if you like money.
that is a lot of money for Lockheed.
Money.
I understand why they're focusing on that rather than trying to burn cash to make a reusable rocket, because that ain't cheap to R&D that. I know it's been made, but it's not cheap to R&D your own and make it. So I understand why they haven't done it yet too.
Deadbringer, you're saying expendable is still the way for high C3 targets with payloads with low endurance on the rocket's second stage. You'll get no argument from me, dude. Expendable rockets de facto have more C3 because you don't characteristic energy, guys. They have more delta V. So and that certainly does have its place. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it doesn't.
There's a reason why Starship is as big as it is and as powerful it is to put as much as it needs into orbit to still be reusable.
Yeah,
there's a reason why.
Yeah, man. All right, so we got some Rocket Lab news. What are they up to? We've never done a factory tour like this before. SPB and part 2. What is this?
So a few years ago, that was done out of here.
Really?
Really?
Yep. The Electron rocket was under $100 million, and 80 people put the first rocket into orbit. These particular missions are very difficult missions. They're like 12-year lifespan, operating in nasty radiation.
Impressive to say. I mean, that's impressive to do that many missions for Electron.
Yeah, I don't think we can listen to that music. Rocket Lab always puts music that gets absolutely hosed. Nasty.
They did do and speaking of Rocket Lab, they did do a test of their Hungry Hippo with the fins on it.
Yeah, I did get to cover that for Space News last week. I did have a streaming setup in Michigan, but it was very cobbled together. Okay. So, the full interview here. How long is this interview? If it's, I mean, we could watch that, but it might pose the damn VOD. In fact, I know it will, if it hasn't already. Yeah. Hey, Rockets. What's up? Welcome back. Yeah, thank you. So this looks like a tour of Rocket Lab. Whoa, hello. All right, let me scrub through and see if we see anything neat.
I don't remember anything really new coming out of this.
Some stuff we haven't, some shots of the factory we haven't really seen. Well, they're in the lobby, but
Factory tour, you're sitting in the lobby. that's all I want to say.
I haven't seen much factory yet.
I haven't seen anything in the factory. Yeah, there we go.
Go back. You missed the best part at 124. Okay. The entrance. Oh God. Oh God. I'm sorry, chat. I'm afraid I can't do that. Oh, I'd be like, no.
That's eerie.
No,
I'd walk in there and go, nope,
No,
nope.
We ain't going in there. All right, so we got the factory.
I'm sorry, Dave.
I'm afraid I can't do that. Yeah, D-Nerdy, it was a great time, dude. Yeah, guys, I love space. Space is my number one, but cars are right behind that. And then, yeah, the cars are right behind it. I love cars. Cars are I'm a huge car nut. Nice TV. Hey, that monitor and that man's face are out of focus.
Listen, yeah.
Oh, no, there we go. It heard me. Okay.
That monitor's also out of focus.
Yeah, I know. Come on, get back in focus. Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Blurring a lot of stuff out.
This is one of our spacecraft programs. You can see some of the buses in the back.
We can?
Hello? Hello?
Oh, we can see one of the buses in the back. Okay.
Hello?
Great factory tour.
Hello? Oh, wow.
Cannot see it.
Yeah, no, this is great. Hello?
I have a question. Like a genuine question. What's the point of panning the camera over and keeping that in if we can't see what's there? Like what's the point?
I don't know. Okay, any more factory tour or something? Oh, wait. U.S. persons and approved foreign persons only.
Yeah, ITAR. Yep, ITAR. Which is not surprising. It's standard.
Wait a minute, is the snack machine blurred out? What do they got in there?
You mean the fun stuff machine where you get all your goodies, PPE and whatnot, and supplies and.
Is that really what's in there?
In those? That is like a pretty standard thing for a lot of floor things. You scan your badge, and you can get any sort of things. You know, gloves, glasses, PPE. Sometimes they'll have like sanding discs, batteries. Tons of little different things. Yeah, Fastenal.
It's a Fastenal vending machine. I didn't even know that was a thing, dude.
Oh, it's a thing. A ton of warehouses, floors have them. We have them at work, where you can literally get gloves, whatever. There's a lot of different things you can get. You just scan your badge and opens the door and you grab it.
Huh.
Basically.
Today I learned. To take a picture.
Oh yeah,
this is going in my cringe compilation.
SpaceX has them too. I've seen them at SpaceX. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe that. So they're just not going to blur out the part that they blurred out here, there. I can't tell that that's clean room environment. No. Okay.
The other really nice thing about the Fastenal ones, if you get the right setup for it, you'll have a setup for like drill bits and screw bits and bolts and other things. If it's set up that way, you just scan your badge, you put in the number what you need, and the right door opens.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's one of their SAT buses there. It's a thermal model of our spacecraft that we built for a customer, so it gives you a sense of sort of the scale here. These are just wires, all right? They're aluminum blocks to represent thermal masses, so something like this will build the complete spacecraft, and then it'll go into thermal vibe and shock testing, and before we start to put the real one together. Okay, so that's just a test article of one of their satellites. Where's this factory? I believe this is the factory in Long Beach, if I'm looking at this right. Why no blur here, though? I don't know. Yeah, we can't play any of the audio because let's see, do they have background music?
And
no, they don't.
Overall, I did the calculation. We have 13 acres of factory around the world. Yeah. So this is a pretty small piece of Rocket Lab.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you
13 acres is not very big. He's like, we have 13 acres combined of Rocket Lab, and she was like, oh my gosh. That's not.
That's tiny.
That's small.
New Zealand, you have here,
Like
you have
SpaceX
Virginia.
just got how many? I forget how many acres it actually is.
The Louisiana site that SpaceX got. Now, keep in mind.
Well, the actual location in which they're going to build the thing on is 14,000 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the site.
Yeah.
The purchase is 130,000 acres. Just.
Yeah, a single Starship pad needs about 13 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Albuquerque.
That's not including the tank
Tucson,
farm
Arizona, and a whole bunch of stuff in Middle River.
This is beautiful.
There's the clean room. That's spacecraft processing right there.
Yeah, so this is a project we're doing for NASA called LOXSAT. So that big like Christmas bauble on the top is actually a sphere full of liquid oxygen.
Where's the Mars?
So we're
Mars communication. Where's that?
I don't know.
The thing they
We're
talked
helping,
about like
NASA
they talked about like every day for like 3 years. Feels
Well,
like.
figure out how to store liquid oxygen on orbit for very long periods of time, which is super important if you're going, interplanetary and doing long duration missions.
This is super cool, though. That's cool.
People are now trying to mine that on the.
Wait a minute. That's a car rotisserie. That's a restoration rotisserie that they just made some brackets for to hold the damn satellite. I like
whatever
that.
Works, right?
That's
Whatever
cool.
works.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's a car resto jig. I was like, wait a minute, what is that? So this so the idea is that you have a car and you attach this to the front bumper and you attach that to the rear bumper, right? And get the car up in the air, and then that thing right there, you turn that thing, and what it can do is it'll turn the car 90 degrees in one direction, and you turn it, it'll go 90 degrees in the other direction. The idea is that if you're working on the floor of a car, you don't have to get up underneath the dang car. The rotisserie will rotate it so you can work standing up and not while you're on your back. Because welding upside down sucks. That's not fun at all. I hate that. Unless you like eating some welding sparks, like that's not fun. It's a Flowtron specifically made for aerospace. Oh. Bro, that's just a freaking car rotisserie. I know type in restoration rotisserie, and that is quite actually what pops up. How much are one of these?
I don't know.
How much are one of these? Contact us pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could buy that same thing at Harbor. No, this is actually. Yeah, Phil, that's better than a car rotisserie. The car rotisserie usually doesn't have this, but
Discovery, go at throttle up.
see, Phil, where my mind is going is like that's actually a really frigging that's a really nice car rotisserie. You could make that. I mean, or satellite rotisserie, whatever. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Save that for later. Let me take the lens cap off. I'm a photographer now. I told Max and everything, Ryan. Here, okay. You can buy a new one for about $1,500. You can get them for about $2K. Really? Dude, this thing is... That is a sweet rotisserie, dude. Google the price cost.
It's probably a lot.
How much does a Flowtron 800 cost? Flowtron 800 series aerospace rotational fixtures typically ranges from 15,000 to 64,000 depending on customization beam lengths. Pre-owned or surplus units often sell in the aftermarket for 4,200 to 9,500. Okay. 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 Okay, be sure to like and subscribe or something. Okay, so it's not an auto rotisserie, but it's close. It's a satellite rotisserie. So likewise, it's more expensive. Car rotisseries are not that expensive. But that is a super nice car that you could use that as a car rotisserie, and it'd be a little bit expensive, but it'd be real nice. The cheapest one on AliExpress is $800.
So that big.
No, don't do that.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It's expensive, so if it falls and drops your satellite, they can afford the lawsuit. Ah, yeah.
Like Christmas bauble on the top is actually a sphere full of liquid oxygen. So we're helping NASA figure out how to store liquid oxygen on orbit for very long periods of time.
Cool.
Which is super important if you're going, interplanetary and doing long duration missions.
People are now trying to mine that on the moon.
Yeah. Well, it's beats having to carry it there, I guess. So yeah.
Are you excited or are you? People are now trying to mine that on the moon.
Yeah. Well, it's beats having to carry it there, I guess. So yeah.
Ryan, can you do me a favor and just unmute the stream for a second? I need you to hear something.
Copy.
I'm gonna unpause it, and I need you to listen to this part.
And doing long duration missions.
People are now trying to mine that on the moon.
Yeah. Well, it's beats having to carry it there, I guess. So yeah.
That probe is a probe that's trying to measure LOX boil-off mitigation technologies in deep space.
Hmm.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. So, okay, you're not going to mine liquid oxygen on the moon, guys. That's not
That's not a thing.
That's not a thing. There's no oxygen up there. I mean, you might be able to extract some out of the regolith if you could
Some out of the water ice that's up there, but
Yeah.
enough to truly make enough rocket fuel to make a difference. You can do hydrogen a little bit better. Hydrogen's a little bit. You can do that a little bit better, but actual LOX, maybe
Yeah,
a little bit,
you'd
but
need the water
not
ice.
in-
You're not gonna mine it.
No, you're gonna use that
like-
for actual water.
Yeah.
For a base, because
and you could-
using that for prop is not.
You could sabatier it and make hydrogen and oxygen, sure, but I don't know. That's part of a thing called in situ resource utilization, or ISRU for short. That's kind of what NASA is trying to do with building the moon base, et cetera, et cetera. Refueling on the moon, though, it only really makes sense if you're just going to and from, not using it as a gas station. She's saying people are trying to mine that. Yeah, but I mean, you hear what Peter Beck's like. Yeah, okay, right? That's not exactly what's going on. It's close enough, but yeah, it's not exactly what's happening here.
Are you excited or are you hopeful about the moon, the lunar programs and
Well, look, I mean, I'm like any space geek. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
But I guess where we play in the moon stuff is we provide a lot of components and systems to other folks doing the moon stuff. And that's mainly because there's a bit of whiplash there. Like, America's going to the moon. No, now we're going to Mars. Now we're going to the moon again. Now we're going to Mars. And no, this time we're really going to the moon. And that's fine. But when you're a moon company, that just plays havoc with your balance sheet. And you're just swinging around all over the place.
The whiplash of
So
that.
we get
I
to
was gonna
play
say,
in...
NASA's really always been pushing towards the moon lately. Like,
Yeah, that's what Peter Beck's saying. Yeah.
a lot lately. The company that really pushed towards Mars was SpaceX, and they haven't like backpedaled on it. They've kicked it out slightly to more focus on the moon first and then going to Mars. They haven't really gone back and forth. SpaceX has always been Mars. So I don't know the back and forth. That's not really accurate. Just going to say that. But whatever.
All right. Well, there really wasn't much factory tour in that, so I'm just gonna let's just get to the good stuff. Let's see. Where should we start? Let's start with Falcon stuff first. So here we go. Boom.
The end of an era.
Yeah. Well, even before that.
Oh, yeah. This.
Right. So NASA, this is a tweet from NASA. It's almost time. Yesterday, the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope arrived at Kennedy at SpaceX's hangar, where we joined with the Falcon Heavy rocket, the telescope's chariot, for its journey to orbit. Roman is scheduled to lift off on Sunday, August 30th. And SpaceX posted this as
they usually do when they have a Falcon Heavy.
Yeah. And there's
as much as Starship looks cool, it's always nice to see a Falcon Heavy again.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate what's going on right here.
It's nice.
Bro.
You get dual RTLS too. So.
Yeah, we like that.
She doesn't fly often, but she's a beautiful rocket.
Man. Remember when people were like, you guys are crazy, you're putting this together. This is such a ridiculous rocket. Like, that's so many engines.
And they put even more engines on another booster. And,
Yeah.
And again, you know what's funny?
Yes.
And I remember when people were saying, oh, it's so many engines. The only, out of all the launches that Falcon Heavy and Starship has done, the only one that had any problems on ascent was Flight 1 of Starship. And it's very, very explainable why they had the issues, because they never, ever had the chance to fire that many Raptor engines that close to each other for any protracted period of time. So it makes total sense in every possible way. And then after that, they haven't had any problems whatsoever. So the whole thing of it's too many engines,
Dude.
SpaceX said nope.
Yeah. I mean, sequencing 33 engines to start and then lift off and not have something completely blow up is, and do it more or less on the first try is pretty good, man. That's pretty good. It's not easy to do that. I mean, they nailed Falcon Heavy on the first try too. I was there. I saw it. It was pretty sick.
Falcon Heavy's been flawless. Literally. They haven't recovered the center core in the chances that they've tried, but I mean, other than not really putting that against Falcon Heavy, it's still been a flawless rocket. And its heritage is nearly flawless. Yep. -2 on the booster side, and second stage has had its issues.
They could land the center core.
The booster has been flawless. It's the second stage that's always had the issues with Falcon 9. The Falcon 9 booster is probably the only first stage booster in history to be flawless. Or close to it.
Yeah.
There's probably been others, but they haven't flown much.
It's pretty impressive, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just staring. I'm staring at the damn picture. I'm like, so fellas, no expendable center core, no landing legs, no grid fins on the center core. I was just saying, like, SpaceX could get the center core back, but why? There's no real point.
It's a little bit extra performance, and these days it's kind of pointless to bring it back. They're not really trying to save Falcon 9s anymore.
Don't say that. Just
I know it. I know it. I know it. It stinks to say it, to hear it, but like, other than, and that kind of leads into the next thing. Other than Starlinks from Vandy and then customer DoD and Dragon missions, Falcon 9's insanely winding down, and then of course Falcon Heavies. Any other Falcon Heavies that still have to come in. Like it feels weird. It's the end of an era. Like,
yeah.
for those who don't know, this is the picture of the final Starlink flight from Kennedy, from Slick 40 or Slick 30 or LC 39A. That was on the fleet leading booster, which my guess is they'll keep flying it. They'll probably ship it to Vandy and fly Starlink missions out of Vandy with it. That'd be my guess. They'll do that with the fleet leaders to see how far they can push it.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
And I say you fly this one until you hit 40 flights, till you hit that dash 41 when it lands, and then you take booster 1067. Goes in a museum.
That needs to go into the Smithsonian or something, man.
Yeah, seriously. Get to 40 flights, put it in the Smithsonian.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say.
So here, let me read the thread. This is coming from Kiko Donchev, who's the vice president of launch at SpaceX. This guy oversees anything that has a SpaceX logo that goes up, right?
Yeah.
So this morning's SpaceX launch from Pad 40. This was the Starlink. This was a couple of days ago, 10-49, which launched on the 25th. So that was yesterday. Was the last planned Falcon 9 Starlink launch from Florida, and it launched on the fleet-leading booster, 1067, on its 37th flight, marking the end of an era for these launches on the East Coast. From here on, Starlink missions out of Florida will fly on Starship. The West Coast team will continue regular Starlink launches from Vandenberg. Super proud of this incredible team. You've made Falcon 9 the most reliable launch vehicle in history, and you've also helped build the largest low Earth orbit satellite constellation, providing connectivity to millions around the world, and you've set the foundation for what's next. Muppet, 14 months, and Dak with an 8-monther. Yeah.
260 missions in 7 years. And that's just Starlink.
Yeah, in the last 7 years, Falcon has flown 260 Starlink missions. Jeez.
Basically, that also confirms it's like the first launch out of the Cape for Starship, it's going to be Starlink.
Yeah.
It is going to be an operational Starlink group mission. And every mission from that point on, unless it's HLS or a tanker, is going to be Starlink. They're just that's how they're going to get the flight rate up. That's how they're going to start getting the flight rate up on Starship is Starlink. Which I mean, we all kind of knew that.
Now, guys, all right, for the people that are like, "What are you doing? That's crazy." Guys, it's not. Hear me out. There's still plenty of stuff that's going to launch on Falcon 9 out of the Cape.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Predominant? How are you? So, crew missions, science missions, etc., etc. I wouldn't worry about that. DoD, except yeah. Mm-hmm. And as you said, you're going to Florida for your first time in the United States, and I was hoping to see a Falcon when I go out, but I guess not. Probably gonna never see a Falcon launch, despite watching Falcon 9 since its first launch. You will absolutely see it. Vandenberg's not going anywhere either, guys. Look, this is
yeah. The next flight. The next Falcon 9, of course, Falcon Heavy is Nancy Grace Rome, but the next Falcon 9 launch, it will be Crew 13, which is currently scheduled for September 12th, which is an RTLS straight back to LZ40. Mm-hmm. So after that, I think it's O3BM power, and then. Yeah, then there's a bunch of other stuff, but I don't know when the next one after that's going to be. It might be like Foo Fighter. It's going to be yeah. Everything else is from Vandy though these days.
Yeah, that's Like, once again, guys, Falcon 9 isn't going anywhere, but this is definitely the beginning of the end. Yeah, that's crazy. Now,
I wonder if they're gonna if they'll start to have GSE problems when they don't launch as much. I wonder, you know?
don't say that. Oh my goodness.
I just had to. I had to bring it up.
They're freeing up Falcon 9 launches for Amazon Leo. There's exactly. You're gonna see the Falcon 9 cadence is going down just a little bit, guys, but it's not going anywhere. Falcon is gonna fly for, I don't know, I would say another 5 years at the very least. For Deadbringer, what are you saying? For Nancy Grace Roman, left and center are new boosters, and the right is 1072. I can check.
Yeah, two of them are definitely new.
Discovery,
One of them's
go at
flown
throttle up.
twice. It looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get
Yep. 1072 is the other booster. It's on its third flight. Huh. There are rumors that they aren't taking new orders post 28, though. Well, that's fine. Taking new orders. If you're not taking new orders from 2028 onwards, that means you're going to complete the backlog. The backlog's going to take some time, and it's, like I said, 2030, 2032, somewhere in there.
Yeah, they'll complete the backlog. I think and here's the other thing is the two pads that Falcon 9 is really flying out of right now, which is Slick 40 and Slick 4 East. They can't really make those into anything else. Slick 4 East, you might be able to you'd have to completely redo the pad. I don't know how big the perimeter is. I don't remember. But like Slick 40, the perimeter of that pad, you can't make that into Starship. Unless the Space Force were to increase the perimeter of that pad, you can't put Starship there. That's why they got 37. 40, it will stay Falcon until Falcon's retired. And I think they'll continue to use Falcon and Dragon for a while. That's not a very big pad perimeter. You can't really fit a Starship pad with a Deluge plus a tank farm in there. There's not enough room, not even close
So
to enough room.
That's 40, guys, and 37, which is SpaceX's new hotness, is, I mean, see the footprint difference? I mean, you might be able to squeeze one in there, but Ryan, yeah, you'd need to basically bulldoze the entire pad like Slick 37 and start over.
And like you're already building 37, and as we'll talk about later, they've already got another location for more pads.
Hey, Josh.
Putting a Starship pad at 40 is kind of pointless. I think it'll stay Falcon 9 until Falcon 9's done, and then pad 40, either it goes to another launcher, like Firefly or Stoke wants a second pad out there, or I don't know, who knows. Or Relativity wants a second pad if they really get going, then they may just retire that pad, and I hope they just keep the tower and the crew access arm there, and it just kind of sits there as an ode to the past of what it took to get to Starship. I think that's what it'll end up happening, honestly.
If Slick 40 comes,
sucks.
Yeah,
but
if Slick 40 comes on the market,
there will be people who would take that pad. I mean, the problem is its proximity to 37. That's the problem. And Slick 41, like what I was talking about earlier, whenever Vulcan dies, 41 dies as well. That's all I'm going to say. Like, you're sandwiched in between Starship pads. Good luck.
That's actually a really good point. Oh.
Which kind of stinks. Those are really good pads. It's just, I don't really see a use in them when Starship really, really goes, because you're sandwiched in between two things that's going to be hard to launch with. So,
guys, Slick 40's perimeter it's more or less what this circle is, Ryan. I don't know if you can see that. Now, I know you're going to be like, oh, that circle fits perfectly into 37's complex. Like, oh, yeah, see, they could make it work. 37's complex, guys, is like this. All of that is Complex 37. If you look at how the land is divvied up, it's basically that. It's a weird shape. It's not a perfect circle, but that's what Ryan's talking about. And yeah, I don't know, dude. 40 and 41, yeah. I mean, dude, it'll basically come full circle here because when I first really started getting into space, yeah, 40 was abandoned. Like I remember them demolishing the Titan structures there and being like, can SpaceX combine 40 and 41?
To what? To what end?
I mean,
answer.
Honestly, if ULA vacate, Titan, it's Titan emotes. If ULA could vacate 41, if they pull out of the industry, I mean, honestly, I would just put a line like Missile Row 2.0 of Starship launch pads, like right here. Just yeah, you have 39 and then you have 37 there and then just Missile Row of Starship pads. Where's Blue? Blue's down here.
I just want to say to any company that has pads further down in Space Force Station, good luck getting to your launch pads if that was the case. Good luck even getting material to your launch pads.
Oh yeah, they would need some serious infrastructure upgrades to do that.
They would literally need to make a large bridge.
Yep.
Over the Banana River to bypass that.
Yeah.
They would have to.
See this bridge right here, guys? That little guy? That is the only way to get heavy equipment into the Space Force Station. I'm serious. Any heavy equipment that can't be moved unless it's on a boat, if you're moving it via land, that's the only way.
Yeah, it's either that or you barge it and drop it off at the little port area in the industrial area. That's it.
Over here.
Those are your only two options. Because you're not going over that bridge.
Yep, that's hangar AF. That's hangar as frick right there, dude. Guys, the bridges that go out there were never designed for heavy traffic. Like, you're not moving a booster across those bridges. It'll collapse. It's too heavy. Interestingly enough, Google Earth just took a dump on me. That's good. That's hangar as frick right now. That is the most hangar. Yep, so that's what Ryan's talking about. Give me 1 second. Computer. There we go. All right. Anyway, so yeah, guys, we're not going to stop seeing Falcon 9 launches for a little while, but that means that a Starship launch off the Cape, which you said it's going to be Starlink satellites. That SpaceX wouldn't do this unless that was on the horizon.
It's close. We'll see when it actually happens, but they need Booster 21 to go well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
which it was supposed to static fire today.
Just build a new bridge. Come on, Brahman. We'll get into that. Yeah, it was supposed to static fire. The static fire is postponed till tomorrow at the very least. 39A. This is a little bit of an outdated picture, guys, but 39A is pretty much good to go.
It's close.
Little bit of deluge testing, a little bit of fuel testing here and there, and yeah, then you're good. But even if the pad gets operational, you still got to get a booster there, right? Getting one there, you're not building it on the Cape. The Giga Bay is here, but they don't have Star Factory set up yet. Oh, that's so cool. I love that they updated the photogrammetry. That's so sick.
At this point, the roof's almost done.
Mm-hmm.
All the cladding's done. The roof's almost done. It's got a bridge, at least one bridge crane. It might have both bridge cranes installed at this point. We don't really know. And they're constantly making stands to go inside the bay, so they're kitting it out. It's going to take a while to kit it out, but they're in the process of it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think they're in the process of really starting to kit out the bay in Starbase. We were seeing dump trucks get material taken out of the Giga Bay, because I think they were digging up some of the work cells in order to put in work stands and put in embeds for work stands. So that's a good sign for Starbase as well. They're moving along.
Alex, did you see the new CSI Starbase? Your theory about flooded flame trenches is incorrect. What? What? What are you talking about? The new
Zach's done a whole. He's done another part 4 at this point for his talking all about the deluge.
I don't recall anything about firing into a flooded flame trench. I never said that.
I don't know.
From way back. How way back are we talking about here? I've been streaming for 15 years, man. How far are we talking? They could take Ship 40 to KSC for fitment testing. I wouldn't use that. I don't ever.
40 is not. 40 is going back to Starbase and is going to likely either get scrapped at the port or transported to Sanchez and scrapped. One of the two. I don't know which yet. Oh, they're not saving that thing. They're scrapping it.
Why?
Oh, either that or it's going to sit on its side and just sit there. I don't think they're going to want to try to put that thing vertical. That nose cone crumpled a decent amount when it hit the water. I saw some of the damage on that thing. Yeah, it's a little crumpled.
It's fine. Use the catch points. You'll be good.
They tried that and they ripped one of heavily damaged one of the forward flaps and they ripped one of the forward flaps.
That was with a boat. I'm saying with a crane, man. Damn. Yeah, they did screw the front flaps up. But yeah, no, with the spreader
she's
bar.
Out of the water now. She's out of the water now.
Right.
She's on the Forte. She's at some point we're waiting for them to fully secure it to the boat, and then it'll be on its way home. Speaking of which, there she is.
So check this out. This video is coming from I think it's Bush Bindi. I think it could be a Chris Bray video too. I'm not sure, but so the Forte guys, this is what happened over the weekend when it wasn't here. If you guys don't know, if you guys haven't been updated on the Ship 40 recovery saga, Ship 40 was towed to Christmas Island by the Normand Ranger, and then this ship came out of Indonesia here. The Forte is a semi-submersible ship, so it can sink itself partially, but it has a flat deck on the top. So check this out. It partially sunk itself underneath Starship and then pumped all of the water out of its hull and lifted Ship 40 out of the water. You can see the pumps going right there. See all the So Ship 40 is up. It's out of the water. Why didn't they just land it on the Forte? That's a really good question. I don't know, but the Forte
Didn't have it.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Also, they had to make a custom jig for it, and there's their custom jig. So they had to do a lot of different things. So this was the plan all along. They just had to make the custom jig, put it on the Forte while it was in port, and then they contracted it, and it went out there once it was ready. I think they were just trying to find a way to get it somewhere where the Forte could pick it up in calmer waters rather than the middle of the Indian Ocean. So that's why they towed it to Christmas Island. So they added to a location where the waters were calmer and not high seas and everything, and they could do this operation safely. So, but that ship the ship looks tiny to the ship. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah,
that's a 52-meter long thing, and the ship's like, nah. That's nothing.
Forte is
and
gigantic.
Starship doesn't weigh much at all either. It's light compared to other things that thing picks up.
Yeah.
The ships like that have picked up Arleigh Burke-class destroyers.
That's
like
the Blue Marlin.
Cole.
Yeah.
The Cole. Yeah. One of these around. I don't know. It was the same model, but semi-submersible picked up the USS Cole after it was hit after it was bombed in 2000.
Yeah. That's the Blue Marlin. That's bigger than this.
Yeah.
Dude.
But still, these things pick up a lot of things.
No, Forte is big. The Blue Marlin is bigger. It is, Nova, yeah. So yeah, these pictures are coming from Extra Divers Australia. That was reposted by Sal. Sal is my new favorite guy to follow about just boat stuff. He does what with boats what Ryan and I do with spaceships. Yeah, Sal's the man. Yeah, this is. I want to remind everybody, guys. Starship is 9 meter diameter, and it's
Tiny.
yeah, that's about 30 feet wide. It looks small on the deck of the Forte, and people for scale right there. Pretty crazy, huh? Why is it off center?
It's.
You want to explain this?
I mean, well, part of it is because it doesn't need to be centered. Also, they put on the deck wherever they could put the jig, they put it. So they put it in the most easily accessible location so that they don't have to float the ship as far. So the whole point was to float it, and then it hit kind of those two posts behind there. It kind of would go up against those posts, and then it would settle in, and then the ship comes up and brings it out. It's just why put it farther in? That's more maneuvering you have to do for the ship. So just put it on the edge. It's not like it's really offsetting the weight on that ship that much. That's only 160 tons. And I say only because that ship is usually lifting thousands. So it's not much. That's why. It doesn't. The ship doesn't care that it's off-centered.
Yep. So the Forte can balance it out, guys. It's got ballast tanks. It can sink itself, like what Ryan was saying. Like you could sink the ship. And I haven't seen anybody say this. It's easier to balance it when it's off center with the ballast tanks. Think about it. No, seriously, consider this for a second. If you put it in the center, you're gonna, and say you have ballast tanks on either side, and the tanks are port and starboard, right? You have tanks on either side. And it's basically the ship hull. They just flood the hull of the ship with seawater and then pump it out. Right? If you put this thing directly in the center, you're going to have to sit there and you're going to have to pump either tank up, right? You're going to have to pump it up to make sure it gets into the right spot, right? And then you have to equalize it somehow. Like you could do that. It has the systems to do it. Easy. That's no problem. But if you put it off to one side, right? You're only filling up one side of the ballast tanks. So first of all, you're going to fill up with less. That's less ballast, right? Think about it for a second. If you fill up both tanks, right? This, you only have to fill up one. It's not as much, right? But you're going to have to counterbalance it. But either way, right? It's actually not less ballast that I was thinking about it. It's not less. It's easier to balance. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry. So the other thing is that it'll be easier to pick it up if it's on one side of the ship. A crane will use less loofing. So loof with a crane is how far a crane can reach out from the center of the pin. So its pivot point, if it has one. If this thing pulls up to port, they'll be able to pull it off a lot easier. She missing a flap. Yeah, that's what Ryan was talking about. They tried to tow it by the catching points, and as predicted, it destroyed the front flaps.
You see the line there between the nose cone and the payload section there, where there's a bunch of missing tiles. Alongside, they damaged the forward flaps. That's because they tried to wrap a line around the lift points and around the top of the ship. It slipped, and they did a lot of damage when that happened. So they just wrapped a line out of around one of the RVAC, around one of the center nozzles, and they just pulled it via one of the engines to get it to Christmas Island. So, but she won't be home until, at this rate, middle end of October.
Yeah, it's going to take.
So there's a very solid chance that Ship 42 flies out of Starbase before this gets back, and heck, might even get caught before this thing gets back. So we'll see, though.
But yeah, if you put it off to one side, it's a little bit easier to balance it, and it's going to be easier for the crane to get at it. So, yeah, that's Forte has it, man. She's coming home. which is pretty cool. And, you know, considering that thing was, you know, out for a month at sea, it's pretty damn good. That fared pretty well. Can you imagine if you had a car and you put some floaties on a car to get it to float and you spent a month at sea? There would be no car left. Like, there'd be no car left. It would just be a crumpled mess. Like, that thing did pretty well for spending a month out there.
Yeah, literally the last time it was out of the ocean was when it flew. The date that it flew.
Yeah.
Which was the 24th. So it spent literally just over a month in the water. So.
And then it's going to take another month and a half to get home. So that's, it's going to be, I mean, just think about that for a second. How, it got there in an hour. It got from Texas to here in an hour. Just saying, man. Just saying. That ship is $100,000 per day to rent. So
it's not like, I mean, and SpaceX just put $100 billion into new investment. So I don't think it's really going to matter that much.
The last earnings report, one man, SpaceX said they had $150 billion cash on hand.
So let's see here. They've probably had that ship since like middle of August. Honestly, it's probably when they finally rented it and then put the jig on it. They probably had it for a while. So let's say that they've got the 50 day. They got about 50 days to get it back, and then they'll add another 14 to that. So $100,000 a day to rent. That's going to cost them $6.4 million. Oh no. Oh no.
That's nothing, dude. That's actually cheap.
That's a rounding number for SpaceX right now.
Yeah.
That's a rounding error.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing, brother.
And honestly, they probably paid more so they could get it this quick.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably spent $15 to $20 million to bring this ship back.
Hey, guys,
but it's worth it to look at the heat shield.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that dude, heat shield in the Raptors, man. So worth it. You could pretty well, you could pretty much discern what was re-entry damage, if at all, and what was boat damage. You know, And the Raptors are worth their weight in gold, dude. Having a Raptor that's been to space and back. There's not many engines that have gone as far as those things have and came back. The only one I can think of that's even close is the shuttle engine. Just SSMEs. There's nothing else. Think of, like, dude, noodle on it for a second. What? I mean, now, Ship 40 didn't get to orbit. It didn't get there. It got close. It was like 90%, 99% of the way there.
I would say Merlins that have flown a lot have done it as well. That's what I would say.
But they're nowhere near the orbital velocity that these things.
Yeah, not the orbital velocity, but in terms of, still flying a lot and coming back, it'd be Merlins.
Right. So Merlin shuttle engines, SRB casings. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing else has even gotten close. We'll talk about that in a second, Cajun. So, all right.
I have a lot to say on that.
I bet you. Oh, I bet you do.
So, I will say this is you can. I don't know if you have the space engineer stuff pulled up at all.
Space engineers?
Yeah, his TSEs or for that matter.
Oh, TSE. I thought you were talking about the game.
Let me send you this here. It's a size comparison here.
Oh yeah, from Interstellar Gateway. Holy crap, dude! Yeah,
yeah.
All right, I have that. I want to show him the video. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the video first.
All right, watch this, dudes. Vermilion Parish, Louisiana is what that says.
We know
they will, Andrew. Yes.
How to make the rockets. We know how to make the rockets at rate. We know what the rocket needs and how to make the things that the rocket needs. We can put all of that together to fly thousands of times, but none of that matters if you don't have a place to do it.
Discovery, going throttle.
We are in southern Louisiana on the Gulf Coast in Vermilion Parish, and more specifically in the coastal marshes just south of Pecan Island.
What's up, King Kid?
And we're here to build a spaceport.
SpaceX started looking for a high-rate launch site in earnest probably 7 years ago, and there's kind of a few places on Earth where we can do what we need to do to launch Starship fully reusable at rate, meaning thousands of launches a year. You got to have a place that's on the coast, that there aren't a lot of folks near where you're going to build your launch pads. You need ample gas, and you need the right trajectories to do all of the missions that we want. And so there's really few places on Earth where you can do this, and Louisiana happens to be a perfect candidate for that.
I can't play that music.
All service.
Okay, still playing it.
This place will truly, truly change the world. At what point does civilization get to know a life in the stars?
Yeah.
You can't do that launching.
You need serious tonnage. See the serious tonnage, or
Scale.
if you want to go out there and make life multiplanetary and not just be a tourist, send a few people and come back, and but if you want to go there and actually build a self-growing civilization, you need serious tonnage. We're going to bring, I think, probably north of 10,000 really exciting jobs to Louisiana, and it's kind of jobs that are so exciting you can't wait to go to work in the morning. Right. It's super inspiring, and we believe in having a really fun work environment, and it's hard to beat rockets, frankly.
I didn't know you were employing so many people from Louisiana.
Absolutely.
We talk about Louisiana as like this mechanic shop, right? And the interesting part about the whole project is that the project is actually built on the foundation that built Louisiana, which is the energy industry, right? So you're just laying a great project on type of something that Louisiana is ready for.
When people think of SpaceX, they think of a lot of engineers and scientists and things like that, but actually the most common job at SpaceX is technician or welder or tube bender. These are actually the people who add the most value from going from raw material in the door to finished rockets out the other door. They're passionate about their craft. They're excited to come to work every day, and they know that they're doing something that makes a difference, both in the lives of people that are here today and for many generations to come.
70% of our workforce at Starbase Texas is local to the Rio Grande Valley, and we're really proud of that fact, and it's something that we will replicate at even a larger scale here in Pecan Island.
Well, I think it's been incredibly exciting for the people of Louisiana. We'll make it such that the public can come and see, like they do at Cape Canaveral. People go to see Disney World, but then they'll go over to Cape Canaveral to watch the rockets launch.
All of our launch sites are actually nestled next to wildlife refuges, whether it's Vandenberg or Cape Canaveral or Boca Chica, and so we're good at managing both of them. In order for us to build our infrastructure, to bring the launch pad, to bring the rockets here, we're going to have to literally shore up the shoreline. It's going to be a historic coastal restoration.
I'm going to tell my kids this is the GTA 6 trailer.
In partnership with Pecan Island and the state and Vermilion Parish to bring the marsh back, to make sure we have proper storm protection.
That's actually some of the first work that you will see happening on site, is gaining access to the property so that we can get equipment in to start restoring the wetland and making sure that
it looks
stop
straight,
the erosion on the
water.
shoreline.
It's going to be a fantastic partnership with Louisiana. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and thank you for your support again.
Oh, no, not a problem.
Yeah.
We haven't picked a name
Well,
yet.
I think Starbase is cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Starbase, Louisiana.
All right, you heard it here first.
Yeah, we can't wait to serve y'all the first pot of gumbo.
Sounds good.
2 star bases, it's annoying.
Yeah. So if you've just been zoning out, this is the part you want to see. This is the part you want to. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ten pads, a terabay or something along those lines, or multiple gigabays together, or whatever the heck, and a star factory. This complex from the end of that star factory all the way through all 10 pads is 12 miles long. So, in reference, again, that would be from 39B all the way down to 36.
This is coming from IGW. Space Engineer did that. Look at this thing, dude. Oh my god.
It's a lot. That's a lot of infrastructure. And what I will say to this,
so good.
This is basic. So, and I know we're really gonna get into this. And SpaceX basically said that they're gonna start construction next year, with launches happening as early as 2029. That ain't happening. Sorry. So the what SpaceX is doing here is akin to what NASA did in the 60s, where they started from scratch in marshlands on Merritt Island. When they originally built KSC, that's where they're starting from here. This is, as you saw, this is all swamp, marsh, lakes, rivers. Like they have to restore the coastline. They have to build access roads. And they have to build them up too. Like they have to build them up and build seawalls because this place loves to get hit by hurricanes, and loves to flood. So they have to raise all this stuff off the ground and then build seawalls around it to help protect against floods or build in whatnot. So there's a lot of initial infrastructure changes they have to do here. But like 10 pads, once this is completed, I don't doubt SpaceX will build this. And that's what a lot of people think. I have no doubt they will build this. It's just going to take a while. That's 10 launch pads. Nobody in the history has ever tried to build a spaceport like this from scratch with this kind of a rocket. No one has ever tried to do it. No one.
You know what, man? Bro, this is $100 billion project.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If $100 billion, I mean, you want it fast? Do you want it fast? Or
we'll see
cheap?
how quickly they do it. I already have a plan. I worked out a plan on how they're going to start.
Oh yeah.
In a lot of ways, pull up Google Maps. Let's look at the area from Google Maps.
Okay. Well, yeah. Here's the thing, guys. I think 2029 is doable for a launch. Not the whole complex, but for a launch, sure. Why not? That's plenty of time. So, guys, we are in the Gulf here. This is Vermilion Parish on what's called Pecan Island right here. SpaceX's purchase is here. I'll outline it here. This is all of the land that they bought. So, Hellfish, what were you saying over there? The area they're building in sees an average of 14 years, about 14 years between hits, like KSC. Like I said, guys, there's not many places that are like ideal places to launch.
And what I said is they'll have to raise a lot of the stuff, a lot of the infrastructure above ground and build seawalls is my guess is what they'll do. There's going to be a lot of initial work to prevent any issues stemming from storms, hurricanes, whatever. It is basically what they're going to do to initially start. If you look, you see that canal right there.
That's the intercoastal, baby.
So that little canal right there, which there is a lock system for the Army Corps of Engineers. There's that little square, that little rectangle right there where you see that road kind of wraps around. basically, there, and it's right next to the boat launch area there. That little area, you see that little wraparound. That's where they'll probably build a small port facilities, as well as access roads to start. They will flatten out an area for housing, local amenities, all that other stuff they need for contractors and everything. They'll build a small port there. Pretty much everything they need is going to get barged in. Whether it's silt that they're probably going to dredge from the Mississippi Delta, dirt, sand, whatever you need. They're going to barge all that in because the road infrastructure to this area is abysmal, to say the least. So a lot of it's going to get barged in. And then they're going to have to build out access roads to where they want to build the pads, the tank farm infrastructure, the Gigabay. They're going to have to do a lot of foundation work in order to even get this started. There's a lot of stuff they got to do, and they're spending the money to do it.
Bro,
I can't wait to see it started, but it's going to be a hell of a construction project to do this.
I really don't think that this, guys, once again, I understand quirky Elon time, etc., etc. He says, "Oh, we're gonna do this, and it's super ambitious." When you have $100 billion, this is not ambitious at all, from a construction standpoint. Think about it, $100 billion.
It's a lot of the original. I think the thing that's going to take the longest is bringing a bunch of material in and getting it in the right locations and building out what they need to build out to initially start it.
Okay, little bit of a contrarian opinion from me here. We just tallied the price of what it's going to take Forte to tow Ship 40 around the world, halfway around the world. It's not expensive. Shipping is cheap if you buy in bulk.
I'm not.
Think about it.
The money here is not the thing. I think it's just the amount of time it's going to take to bring all the. That's a lot of material they got to bring in for that many pads, because they have to bring in the material to help withstand a gigabay or a terabay in this case. Factory.
No. Dredge it. Dredge the frickin' thing. Dude.
Well, then they'll dredge it. Like I said, they'll probably dredge silt from the Mississippi Delta. That lovely Mississippi silt. They'll probably dredge a lot of that stuff out.
Dude, this is so. Yeah. No. Okay. Look at the road, the access road to the locks. Okay. Here's how you do this. You want to, and keep in mind, Gigabay is going to require much bigger ponds, but you dig retention ponds around the road. You see how it goes back and forth? If you guys are wondering why it goes back and forth like this, well, the dirt that they dug out here, that they dredged out, they used to make the road. The road is elevated. It's up on a mound, okay? So you dig the retention pond so all the water drains there, and it looks like they did it symmetrically, because if you did it on one side, it would sag, it would seep. It would seep all to one side. So you could see that the curve requires a little more dirt, so it has a little bigger pond, right? You don't need to dredge. You don't need to bring in material. There's no bringing in material. You just basically send the dredger in there, right? And it'll just dump. It'll start dumping stuff. That earth moving is expensive, but it doesn't take very long. Earth moving is expensive, and expenses is not a problem here. They could build this stuff out, dude, and they could get it done fast. It can be done quickly. You're going to need a lot of dredgers, but once again, that's not.
They spent the money.
They spent the money, brother. I don't think that this.
I think they were going to get a little port right there. That little that little sea of a road. They'll probably build a port right there to bring in barges of material and just equipment and stuff and whatnot. Build a little port facility, some cranes.
Yep.
That'll go right into Star Factory. The Star Factory they're going to build there. Plus, I don't even know what to call the bay. I guess Terabay, whatever.
So,
and then the ASUs, they can take a gas line from. I think it's 40 miles away. There's a large gas plant.
Yep.
They can take a gas line from that and liquefy it on site, and then. Just pull, again, desalination plant, pull from the Gulf, and again, fusion reactor. Said it before, fusion reactor, EJ.
Well,
right?
Yeah. You'll get no argument from me. Set up a fusion or a nuclear power plant. Send it.
I think the biggest hurdle will be bringing in power, because there's not any high power lines close by like there was when they went to build terafab. Like they have those high power transmission lines close by. There isn't a lot there for that. They're gonna have to build a lot on site and then run lines in. So that's not necessarily quick. I've seen how long it takes in Starbase to run that stuff. But they'll do it.
I also don't think that that's an issue. Think about this.
Also, Louisiana is even more lax than Texas with environmental regs. And I mean, I'll just mention it. They said that they're going to lax environmental regs. The FAA said that, as much as I utterly disagree with that, to make it faster for companies to build spaceports and everything like that. I don't think they should, but here we are. I don't know in what way, because I'm still expecting an environmental impact statement to come out about this, or the proposal for one, and then a draft. So we'll actually get a lot of data, because they have to get approved for inclinations and trajectories out of there. So that's part of the EIS that has to happen still. So hopefully that'll pop up by the end of the year. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to say the least.
So check this out, dude. At 39A, you see Pintail Creek and you see Gator Hole over there. Those are the whole. They just dredged out the marsh to build. This is to build the crawlerway and 39A and B, and you can even see the canal that they dug to get the dredging equipment up there. They dredged all this out in the 60s to build out 39B and 39A. A lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, 39A and B. What if the climate change happens? What if a hurricane comes through and erodes everything?" 39A and B ain't going anywhere, and they ain't going anywhere for a very, very long time. The surface height here on this dirt is like, I don't know, 10 meters above sea level. Like, you're not going to see it unless you've been out here and walked out here. And I have walked out here. This is way higher than the sea level. Like, they built mountains. These are freaking mountains. These aren't going anywhere for a long time.
Basically, like, that's why I use the example of that. What they're doing in Louisiana is going to be what NASA did in the 60s when they built those two pads, except for they're building 10.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
that's basically what they're going to do.
Yep. You see, yeah. See this one right here. What is that? What's the name of that? Broadaxe Creek. They dredged all this out to build the crawlerway. And the title...
And then brought in a bunch of the stones and all that other jazz.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. The turning basin, the canal that goes to the turning basin, they dredged that thing out and they built that part of the crawlerway. And then the rest of the turning basin, because they needed a deep water port so they could get parts in for the VAB, they used to make the rest of Complex 39. This is what they're going to do. Your dirt's already there. You just dig down a little bit. If you dig down, you're going to hit water. And physics doesn't care if the water is inundated in dirt or if it's just floating there. That's what they're going to do. This does not take very long, guys. Complex 39 got built from 63 to 65. It took 2 years. The first launch of a Saturn V, I think, was late 67. So
it took longer to build the vehicle assembly building. But I mean, that's because you had to, put all the piles in, do the foundation, build up the steel, which, I mean, the Terror Bay down there is going to take a bit to build. I mean, it's taken them a year and a half to do the structural steel on both gigabays, which that's about as quick as you can go when you're even with 4 power cranes. Mm-hmm. My guess is Terror Bay will take about that long as well to build, but I will be curious to see. They'll probably start all the way at the eastern end there, all up there for those pads, and the why I'm going to wait to see the big open area in which they are going to start mass producing. They have to build. This is so stupid to say, but it's stupid ridiculous. We'll just put it that way.
Okay.
They have to build 10 towers, 10 of the launch mounts, dig all those trenches, and that's so much steel to do all that, and then the cryo tanks for that many tank farms. That's 5 separate tank farms. That's a lot of cryo tanks, and then all the ASU and everything, the propellant production. That's going to be nuts to make that self-sustaining. Like,
That was
like this.
yeah.
It's hard to describe how. I mean, it's $100 billion investment. It's hard to describe like how ridiculous this will look when it's completed. Which it's going to be a while before the whole thing is completed. Like it takes a while to build ASUs and like LNG liquefaction equipment. It takes a while to build that stuff. That's not quick, but you can see how raised it's going to be right there.
Yep.
On purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But like when this is all said and done and fully operational, which my guess is going to be end of the 2030s or later, once everything is done.
Yeah.
everything.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that.
When you start getting just launches like crazy out of here, if you go back to Google Maps or whatnot, you can see there's State Highway 82 that runs through Pecan Island down there. That's 5 miles away from all the pads. So, like, if tourists want to come, they can sit on that highway 5 miles away and watch a bunch of rockets. I would not be shocked if SpaceX puts in like a visitor complex or something for people to watch launches. But once they really get going, you're just going to have launches every few hours or less out of that, or even less than that. You might have a launch out of every hour out of the day. 10 pads. For a launch every hour, so 10 hours of launches. Or they do it in quick, close succession of one another because of rendezvous with like tankers and things like that, or doing into specific orbits. Like that's nuts. It's not the biggest spaceport that's ever been built because KSC is bigger, but like
the fact that it's analogous is insane.
Right. Basically, SpaceX is building their own KSC for what? And the other problem with that, the other ridiculous thing is that's for one rocket. Just one rocket. One rocket's going to have 15 launch pads right now. 15. They've got one operational, 4 in construction, and another 10, at least 10 planned. Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
How many
That's insane.
How many flights has everybody said it's going to take to do a refueling run?
10 to 20, depending on payload orbit.
And we have 15 in somebody's using their noodle.
It'll take a while to get all 15 online, but they'll get there.
Yeah, I mean that goes into what I'm thinking. Like they said they're going to launch in 2029. I think they'll do it, but I don't think the whole complex is going to get made by then. It might.
Well, the whole complex is going to take a while.
Once again, fellas, like you have $100 billion, dude. That can get a lot done when you're spending that amount of money, and stuff will come together quick. Do you think the fiber will quit being ran to the countryside, as I live about an hour from Des Moines, and they have been running fiber? Are they just going to stop? I think Starlink fully plans to run the ISPs out of town, so to speak. Not literally, though. Or not actually, Petrie. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, you could... With $100 billion, man, like, this isn't like... That's my thing. Like, if SpaceX didn't IPO and they didn't get that extra $150 billion in cash, well, they get $80 billion from the IPO, to be very clear. If they didn't have any of that and they were just like, oh yeah, we're going to launch in 2029 from here, I'd be like, all right. But the fact that they have so much cash on hand, and we can prove that they have cash on hand from their earnings report, they had $150 billion in cash, in liquidity, in their last earnings report. Bro,
they are also burning money left, right, and center, building all this infrastructure for Starship. They are burning it. They are banking on the AI and Starlink to really kick off once they get going, which, I mean, okay. And they're banking on it like, oh yeah, it's not going to matter that we're burning all this cash because we're just going to get it all back and then some once everything's up and running.
Yeah. Dude,
no rocket has ever had this many launch pads for just a singular rocket. Just for one. It's Which then also comes into the question on what pad's going to do what. So, and I kind of talked about this when we were doing the static fire stream. That beat the where B21 didn't static fire, and it looks like I think it had a GSE issue on that thing. But basically, Starbase is going to be Starlink tanker runs, plus R&D flights for anything new they want to try. They've got Massies for R&D and structural testing whenever they change stuff. So that's what Starbase is going to be. The Cape, 39A, I hope they reserve that for like the flagship missions. Missions to the moon, missions to Mars, as much as possible. Plus Starlinks, of course, you're gonna fly out of there more and more. But I really hope 39A is like that flagship mission pad. 37 will probably do that as well with HLS flights and other things like that, because you can't just reserve that for one pad. DoD flights out of 37 is probably going to be it. It's just going to be out of 37. It'll be reserved for DoD because it's within the base. Plus Starlinks, plus tankers, plus Starmine sats. They can run SSO flights out of there if they do a dogleg. But the true SSO polar launches is going to be Florida. That's is going to be Louisiana. I mean, that's where you're getting your AI sats flown out of. You're going to do tanker runs out of that. You're going to do Starlink missions out of that. Interplanetary, not really. I think Louisiana is basically going to be tanker, Starlink, Starmind. The Cape is going to be everything, and Starbase is probably going to be tanker, Starlink, and R&D flights. And I think that's the spread. If they get Vandy, which my guess is they will, they haven't announced it yet, but that'll be like more DoD missions plus SSO Starlinks and Starmine missions as well. But like I think this complex is just mainly designed to do their AI data centers and tanker runs.
Agree. Yeah, no,
that's I think the spread that they're going to do.
You get. I completely agree. Actually, somebody asked me when I was playing Kerbal. Guys, this site can get anywhere. You can get to the ISS from here if you really wanted to. You could get to Geo, no problem. You could get Equatorial, easy peasy. Polar, this is really suited for Polar. You could get Sun Synchronous from here. Like, Sun Synchronous is where the Department of Defense really likes. They like that orbit. This is primed for it. There's nothing to the south. There's Mexico, but that's way far off. Yeah, this is... Could you do retrograde launches from here? Sun synchronous orbits are retrograde, Cajun. So,
yeah,
yes.
they'll go over the Yucatan and whatnot, over that little sliver, that thin part of the Yucatan is what they'll go over. Yeah, and then of course, you say I didn't mention Mars missions. When I say 39A and I say flagship missions, that's what I mean by Mars missions and Moon missions. Is flagship missions like big crude ones, and then shots to Mars. I mean, the initial launches will likely be out of KSC to get it into the right orbit, and then the tanker flights could be out of just about anywhere to rendezvous with the depots and whatnot. Once you're flying enough too, going over that southern tip of Louisiana isn't really that big of a deal once you fly enough and you're reliable enough.
There's no need to, dude. You could just dogleg it.
No, you can dogleg it too if you need to. Starship's more than powerful enough. The only route it won't go is go north over the U.S.
Yeah,
that's the only route it won't go.
So, guys, exactly. You're not kidding. If you doglegged out of here. So dogleg trajectory is where you turn while you're during ascent, right? You do what's called a radial in or radial out burn during ascent. You could fly starships on this trajectory right here. And the interesting thing is, if you go around Port Fourchon right here, if you go around that and you head directly due east, check this out. Uh-oh. That's weird. It goes right over Kennedy Space Center. Very strange.
They probably go a little bit over the north and south, but Because if they're going to launch as much as they are, they're not going to go over a pad that they want to launch from.
Well, the point here, well, yes, of course. The point that I'm trying to make is that if you launch just straight due east out of KSC, Starbase Louisiana can hit that orbit, no problem. That's a 27-degree inclined orbit. You can absolutely hit that.
I mean, Starbase, they already have the approval to launch Starship between Orlando and Jacksonville, just north of the Cape. They already have approval for that trajectory out of Starbase. They haven't flown it yet, but they have approval for it.
So, yeah, like I said, you can do this with rockets and get into this type of orbit. That's no problem. So this is what I mean. You could hit equatorial from here. You could hit 27 degrees inclined, so you could line up with the Cape, right? You could go to the ISS with this. I don't know why you would ever want to do that. You'd have
I don't think the ISS is going to be around by the time they start flying out.
Yeah, I know. Don't say that.
It sucks,
you could get to an
here we
orbit
are.
similar to the ISS, which would look something like this if you launch southeast out of here. No problem. That's more than enough flight line. No problem. Cuba, the northwest tip of Cuba is 1,100 kilometers downrange. If anything,
you're pretty far.
Yeah. If any Starship gets basically passed right around here during an ascent, anything that comes back down is just going to burn up, just like it did at the Turks and the Caicos. Like, ideally that's not what we want, but it'll burn up before it gets near the ground. You can do anything in this range right here. That's absurd. So Cajun, you asked, can it go retrograde? Yes. Oh yeah. Sun synchronous would be this way. You would want azimuth for a sun synchronous orbit between 180 and 185 on the compass, which could get you a 90 to 97 degree incline. So that's retrograde because you're past 90 degree inclination. That's actually a super good spot. It's really good. You can do whatever. You can do whatever from there. You can get wherever you want. It's not anywhere that KSC and Boca Chica wouldn't be able to get at. Heck, it can get at anything that Wallops could launch from. You can get at anything from Vandenberg and Kodiak, no problem. It can hit every single orbit. That's why this is clutch. This is really, 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 really crazy, actually. Would Mexico be happy about the sun synchronous launches?
I mean, your ship is already pretty far up in the atmosphere by the time it even hits land again.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people that live in some of those areas there. You can thread the needle.
Uncle X, once again, if you're flying on a trajectory that would have debris potentially come down in this little sliver right here, it'll burn up before it gets anywhere near it. You're going to be going way too fast. If you're going fast enough to be able to, well, quote unquote, suborbital hop from here to here, you're going to need a thermal protection system. Right? So I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's not as big of a deal as we might, it's like, oh, they're launching overpopulated areas. No, 600 kilometer downrange is pretty much your threshold for like stuff coming down relatively in one piece. So you are basically wide open from, well, to Starbase. Maybe we see that someday. Who knows? Right, a ferry flight, Starship ferry flight. Basically all the way over to here, all the way over to Port Fourchon, right there. That is an insane azimuth difference. Like that's an insane range. You can go anywhere. You can go to any orbit. And more importantly, you can go to any orbit that Kennedy or Starbase could get to easily. How about re-entry trajectories?
Over the U.S., it's nothing Shuttle hasn't done.
Yeah, I mean, if you launched, let's say you went into an orbit like the ISS, right? And an ISS ascent trajectory would look something like this, give or take. Your re-entry trajectory would basically look something like this. You just wait until you get from ascending to what's called this, if you launched on a descending node trajectory, or DN for short, you'd go this way. You wait for the ascending node trajectory, and yeah, that would be your re-entry corridor. More or less this. So you'd fly over Michoacan, Hidalgo, San Luis Potosi, and then into Tamaulipas. So there are some cities here. And it's something you'd have to take into account for sure. But Starship can fly. Like, it can change its trajectory. It's not that big of a deal. You could go out over less populated areas. That's not necessarily less populated areas. As long as they don't fly over Mexico City, I really don't think it's a big deal. Like, just kind of avoid this corridor at all costs. Don't fly here. There's also volcanoes, but I don't think you'd necessarily have to worry about that too much. But
you're high enough in the atmosphere at that point.
I mean, volcanoes can spew stuff to almost escape velocity, dude. Like, don't screw with the Earth. The Earth can get really pissy from time to time. You know what I mean? Dude, I can't believe this. I saw this on my phone, and I rarely ever say this. I saw this. Okay, so I was at a rest stop in upstate New York driving back, right? And I went to the bathroom. I came back, and Bree was buying something from the rest stop, right? And I was sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, see what's going on with Twitter. Holy shit! You know, like my jaw dropped. I'd never say like, oh, my jaw dropped, but I saw this and I went. I started like heavy breathing, like, you know. Like, it wasn't Angora. We stopped. No, it was I think it was the Mohawk rest stop. I think it was somewhere in upstate New York. I refuel at Angola. That's my refueling point, or not? Because the Angola rest stop's pretty much halfway. Dude, get this, with the truck, I can tell you guys this. So Ryan, this is just some car stuff here. Pause real quick. I can tell you
right back anyways.
Okay, cool. I can tell you guys real quick that the F-150 that Bree and I have, it's new. We bought a new F-150. It's this year. I think it's a 2026. I think. Anyway, it's got a 2.7 twin turbo. So get this, 2.7 twin turbo makes 300 horsepower, 320 foot-pounds, or 320 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque, which is ridiculous from a 2.7 liter engine. Second of all, the truck gets 25 miles to the gallon. This is a half-ton truck. I had 25 miles to the gallon. I had 800-mile range. I only need to refuel it once, driving a third of the way across this country. It's not white, no. XLT Super Cab. I bought the lowest trim. Mine's an F-150 STX. It's got a 2.7 with a 10 speed and not much else. I got no options with this thing. I don't even have power seats. I was like, I want it bare bones. I don't want all the bells and whistles. I don't want any of that. I just want a truck. So this truck has nothing, dude. If I could have gotten crank windows, I would have. It's silver. It's iconic silver, Elfish. So we've had the F-150 for some time, dudes. We bought it anticipating it making the family bigger. Which is why I really didn't tell anybody about it for a long time, but here we are. You know? So sparkly gray. It's iconic silver, okay? But no, this 2.7 won't get recalled. No, the 2.7 they've been producing for a little while. It's the early 2.7s from like 2017, 2018 that are caca. How long do you usually go before fueling up? I don't know. Like, it depends. Like, with this, we hit Angola. Angola is 500 miles easily. Detroit's about 1,000 miles, to get to Detroit. I could make it to Toledo on a tank of gas from Boston, which is freaking crazy, dude. How big is the tank? 36 gallon, right? It's a big tank, but 800-mile range, 25 miles to the gallon. I really can't complain. But yeah, my truck has nothing in it. It has, dude, you still have to reach under the seat and pull the lever up if you want to move the seat back and forth. Manual lumbar support, manual seats, no, like nothing. I don't even have a Ford nav system, dude. You have to use CarPlay. And I did that on purpose because I don't like cars that have a lot of crap in them that can fail. Towing capability? I have no idea, dude. We're not towing with that. That's what the 97 is for. Cloth interior because of the dog. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, dude. I mean, the 2.7, you could probably tow like a lawnmower and a lawnmower trailer with it. You're not towing a car with it. Like,
I'm back.
You literally have a better chassis and engine in the new F-150. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. You could probably tow with it. I wouldn't tow with it. Less crap to break. You bought, well, yeah. And yeah, it ended up costing a little bit more than the Fusion when we bought that. So, yeah. It's still way too expensive for what it is, but that's cars nowadays. That's everything nowadays. It's a 2.7 EcoBoost, yeah. 2.7 EcoBoost Tesla, it's got 320 horse, 300 foot-pounds of torque from a 2.7 liter engine. Me and Bree's dad were talking about this. Dude, screw putting that in a truck, dude. I want to get, like, a Fox body Mustang and put that in there. Put the 2.7 in that. Like, it'll scream. Like, freaking, you'd get, like, 50 miles to the gallon. Like, and you'd have 300 horse. 300 horsepower in Fox body is pretty damn good. That's really respectable. Put that with a 10-speed behind it. What I'm saying is, Ford, make a car and put that in it. Bring back the Fairmont and put that in there. Bring back the Fairmont, put the 2.7 in it with a 10-speed behind it, rear-wheel drive. That would be the sickest thing ever, you know? Or the 6-banger, that inline 6 Hurricane engine. Yeah, that thing's pretty cool. That's not really, yeah, it's neat.
Put a Merlin V12 in, you know.
I don't think that'll fit, but, you know.
You wouldn't say no if you could put it in there, you know.
Yeah, that's right. SVO, the 1.6 EcoBoost in the Fiesta race car makes 280, 292, 2.3, and your Fox makes 320, 420 foot-pounds of torque completely with a stock tune. I'll bet you if you tooled up that 2.7, you can make 500 horsepower. There's no doubt in my mind.
I of course I always have to remember the exact horsepower, but the late war versions were 2,000 horsepower for the V12 Merlins in 1945.
It's pretty good. Oh, something's going on at McGregor. We heard the moo. I don't know what stand that is.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Merlin stand, I think. Let me turn that down. Have you seen Tello's trucks? Not a long haul truck, but it's a good little workhorse. Tello trucks? I do not want this. I do not want this. I do not want the Aqualex. I can't. So, okay, here's my thing. I can't fit in that. There's no way. I can't fit in a Classic Mini. I cannot fit in any Lotus. Can't fit in an RX-7. Barely could fit in a Supra. Maybe a Sky. I could fit in a Skyline if I hunch over. I can't fit in any of these small cars. Like a K truck, probably I might be able to, but I'd be like this the whole time. You get a Topolino. I can't fit in a frigging Topolino, man. Sputnik, I'm almost 2 meters tall. What do you want from me? If I sit in a car like that, my back would get destroyed. Like, I cannot fit in a GT40. They'd need to put a cupola in the top of the GT40 for me to be able to see. How big are you? 6'4", 193 centimeter. Like I said, and I'm not trying to say that to brag. Like, I can't fit in small cars. I can't fit in them. I can fit in the F-150. That's fine. Like, if Jeremy Clarkson could fit in the PLP-50, you could... The PLP-50? What am I going to do with that? Or I have a mini bike that makes more horsepower than that thing. You've been in the Tello, I fit fine, 6 foot front and back. Interesting. Yeah, Tesla, that'll work. Anyway, so, yeah, that's the big news, dudes. SpaceX announced a 10-plus pad launch site in Louisiana. 10 Starship pads. Terror Bay, which looks like a Gigabay with an additional bay attached to the side, so it's Gigabay Bay. You know?
Going by, if you like, that's the thing, if you pick apart the render as much as you can and try to pixel count, it's way, way bigger than just a Gigabay with a transfer aisle attached to it. But, of course, and the one thing I would say, take the renders with a grain of salt. This is very early renders and proposals. Those tank farms don't look right either. Of course, they're just renders. I'm curious to see what it'll look like in the end, because we all remember what 37 looked like. The pads are not in the same location as the renders.
Mm-hmm.
We know. So we'll see what it looks like. This is a very clean setup, I will say. Propellant production in the back, tank farms all split, and then the pads split from one another. It looks cool. I hope it kind of looks like this.
You're gonna need.
I do gotta say though, that trek from that Gigabay all the way down to the last pad.
It's gonna take a while.
That's a schlep. That's a schlep.
Yeah. It's gonna take a while.
We'll see what it looks like in the end.
I will tell you guys right now, the retention ponds are gonna be bigger. You're gonna
Oh yeah.
These things look cool. These like boomerang shaped retention ponds. No. The retention ponds are going to be way bigger than that. So just for, in case anybody's wondering, you're really close to sea level here. Like I kind of got into it a little bit more. I just want to touch base on it one more time. You're kind of close to sea level. You could tell because there's a sea right there and it's level. See it?
Nailed it.
So this terrain is very watery. Anybody that lives in Louisiana, Florida, you know what I'm talking about. Even Starbase. So what you got to do here, you got to get all your launch infrastructure. You got to build it up. You got to build it on mounds. You got to build it above sea level. And not only do you have to build it above sea level, you have to build it so it drains the water. And you have to build it so it doesn't sink into the ground. They said you couldn't build a launch pad in a swamp, but they did it anyway.
Like, what I think too is I don't think those when they split off into those two pads, I don't think the pads are going to have marsh between them. I think that'll be one big pad with the two pads on it, kind of like not like 37, but
no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I think they'll do. I don't think they'll do exactly that, but we'll see what happens. Obviously.
How could she slap? How could she slap me, sir? So basically, what you need, it's not just about building up a mound. You gotta dig down, right? You gotta drain all the water, just like what they do with the launch pads, right? And then you gotta fill all this stuff in.
Sheet piles, CFA piles. Oh boy, there's gonna be a lot of water drainage and a lot of water. There's gonna be the engine. It's not like hard engineering. It's just there's a lot that has to go into it in order to build something this massive on this. Because you have to reinforce that ground to be able to hold a tower and the mount, and then add an additional 6,000 to 7,000 metric tons when you fuel a Starship. So you have to be able to build it to withstand that, and that area isn't necessarily built for that. So you got to build it up to withstand that. Well, that's going to take a little time. It's going to take a lot of material, a lot of dredged material, a lot of stuff. It's going to take time. It'll look so cool. It's going to look so cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that these retention ponds are going to be bigger. You're going to need a lot of dirt. So not just like this. The retention ponds. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more water features here, other than the ocean. You know what I mean? Fill us in on the Sagamore and Bourne Bridge engineering plans. I have not seen. Did they release new plans, Aldesert? I have not seen new ones. It's funny, they're going to widen that bridge, but they're not going to widen Route 3, and they're still going to have traffic because our government is run by idiots.
That's an understatement.
No, the I'm talking about state government, unfortunately for you.
But it is still an understatement. Almost every single government these days is run by idiots. But here we are.
Let's go, dude. What do you think about this SPMT? Is that like a one-off SPMT transport stool?
So, when it comes to Starbase and KSC, they have to transport these vehicles on public roads. Like Saturn Causeway and up Kennedy Parkway, and then of course Highway 4. Out in Louisiana here, these are going to be all private. Make automated stands to move ships and boosters around. You won't have to worry about cars running into them. I think they're gonna, because they can do this all from scratch. I think they're gonna have a dedicated transport way, and then right off to the side, it'll be like it'll be an access road for vehicles to go to and from pads and tank farms and everything like that, so that you're not getting in the way of the vehicles being transported down the main ways. I think that's what they're gonna do. They can build this from scratch without any problems, and they can design it how they want to. So literally, like the crawlerway with the road beside it. So, that's what I think they'll do.
Does that mean we can call these crawlers and not transport stools?
Sure, we'll call them crawlers. I'm fine with that.
Technically, because the crawler uses crane terminology, it's technically a roller stand, because wheels. But
either way, I figure that's how they'll do it. They'll do a specific road for transporting vehicles, and then they'll have an access road off to the side for people and other vehicles and whatnot. I think that's what they'll do. It makes the most sense to me.
Chad's asking why not just build train tracks at that point. Chad, honestly, that would be a really good idea. I'm not. I would be on board with rail transport for Starship transport stands. I think that's a great idea, to be honest with you. But
it would make
they might. You never know.
Lining it up with the sticks means that there's only one way to line it up with rails. You should be able to hit that every single time.
That's right, Ugly.
You could do it. You could. The only problem with that is you would need a way. You'd have to put rails through the transfer aisles of the bay, because your transport stand that goes on the rails would have to go into the Gigabay or Terabay or whatever you want to call it, to get placed on, and then it rolls out. Unless you're going to build some kind of stand that can roll onto concrete and then switch to rolling onto tracks. So you'd have to run tracks through the bay, which then makes it a kind of an uneven service to roll things around, which I don't know if they really want that inside the bay. Or
are you familiar with track mobiles?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Track mobiles are, here. It is what you're describing to a T. Now, don't get me wrong. You'd probably need a lot of them.
On this scale?
Yeah. So track mobiles are how Vulcan gets moved to the pad. So it's half tractor, half switcher locomotive.
I mean, maybe.
So you could. It's like
I think they'll stick with SPMTs, though.
Yeah.
They're just used to them. I think they'll stick to those.
Yeah. I mean, but You said take the renders with a grain of salt, but yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. You go with what you know, Chad, is probably the reason why they're doing that. But also, you could get away with track mobiles. Sure. I mean, if you put this thing on rails, though, like, it would end up looking like the Schwer Gustav. Like the rail tracks would be insane. Like, I don't know if you know what the Schwer Gustav was. It was a German artillery.
You
railroad
think I
artillery.
don't know what the Schwer Gustav was?
No, not you. Not you. It would end up looking something like that, but swap the gun with rocket instead.
Railway guns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I again, or you're talking like N1 without the transporter erector. I think they'll stick with SPMTs though. I think that's what they'll stick with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really think so too. But I do love trains. I'm not gonna lie to you. Trains are awesome. That's one of my.
I'm just gonna say this though, and I don't know how much faster they can make the transport stands and everything like that, and whatnot. How much faster they can do it, but like to get from the Gigabay to the pad all the way at the end of that complex, like that's 12 miles almost.
Trains would be faster.
Trains would be faster. Like with SPMT, with it, like just to say this, to get to Massey's, which is about 4 and change, that takes 2.5 hours. To get to the other end of that, like that's gonna take the entire day, just to get to the end of the end of the complex. It'd take like half the day. Like 12 hours. That'd take forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to find a way to go faster. Or, hear me out, you build another bay on the other side of that. You have a bay on each end. So that the longest it takes is to get to the pads in the center. You know?
I would build the bay over here so you can distribute to the pads like a manifold. So pad traverse distance is...
Or that, yeah.
That's where I would build it, but it's not by the port, which is Also, that is I'm not gonna say it's in close proximity, but that's awfully close to the first pad. If you built it over here, right, you could it's a little bit further away from the pads.
You know what's funny is you say that's in close proximity.
It's not. It's like 2.5 miles away. That's like 39A to the VAB.
It's about 3.5, 4 kilometers from the first pad.
What's up, Rudy? What are you saying over there?
Yeah.
There's some exactly. It's a long way. What are you saying, Rudy? There's some crazy plans for automation and future expansions. Louisiana will be dedicated to Starmine supercluster launching into Sun synchronous. Yeah,
that's what we were talking about.
That's what we were suspecting, dude. This is
I am curious to see what the final setup is going to look like. We will probably see in a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers proposal at some point, alongside the EIS, that'll have a preliminary layout, and then of course, then the final layout will be whenever they start construction, because those never hold. But can't wait to see the preliminary layouts of this. I don't think it'll look like this. I think this is just a render, just to kind of like, hey, look what it could look like. I think it's going to look different. I think you're going to have several gigabays plus your Star Factory, as close to the port as they can make it, plus employee housing. And I think those pads are going to be joined in one large circular pad rather than like split things like that. I don't think there will be any catch towers, and I was kind of talking about this on someone had asked me about catch towers. I think right now SpaceX is going to build launch pads and launch towers, and if they get down the line when they really increase their cadence and they go, I think we need to have dedicated towers for catching ships or something like that, then they'll go ahead and build catch towers. But I think until they get to that point, I think right now they're going to stick with the only reason why I say anything about it is because it says it in the EISs. They mention that they might build them in there.
Yeah, leave your options open.
I think I think they are going to go with launch towers only, and if they think they need the catch towers, then they'll build them. But other than that, I think they won't do any. They won't build any. They'll just use the launch towers. If they have to catch the booster on one pad and the ship on the other, then so be it. But that's what they'll do. So.
Discovery,
Don't.
go at throttle
32-month resub. Thank you. So, Rudy, what are you saying over here? The other thing why the team selected Louisiana was because of the LNG access. They got pushback. The team got pushback at the Cape. The original plan had us overtaking most of the abandoned Cape pads. Ryan, remember what I said about building this at the Cape over 40 or 41?
Here's the problem. The problem with that too is the pushback from all the other companies that want to launch from the Cape. And if you did that with Starship, the other companies wouldn't be able to launch. Which I can understand that pushback. I entirely understand that.
Does make sense.
100%. 100%. I understand that pushback. Like, I totally get it.
But also,
so this is your solution to it. No one's in the way here.
Yeah. Oh no, we can't fly our 747 all the time because we have to yield to some Cessnas.
Well, you're talking. I mean, eventually Stoke's going to make bigger rockets, and Relativity is probably going to go bigger as well. And
it was hyperbole.
And then 9x4, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know Blue has probably raised a heck of a stink about the amount that Starship's going to launch out of the Cape, and they want to launch a lot too. Luckily, they're the farthest away from the pads, but you know.
Rudy said. He also said the teams had a lot of discussions with other launch companies at the Cape. The blast detonation area for Starship is too big, and that will mandate the evacuation of most of the private launch pads when they're ready. Yep. Oh yeah, 37. Yeah, man.
37 is gonna screw a few people over.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Oh well. We'll see. See what happens. I mean, there's no guys like, okay, so, it's funny we said it, I made my Cessna 747 reference just a second ago. There's no way the Air Force, if the Air Force says, no, frick you, stop launching, we need to launch something else, or these guys need some time to do this, what are they going to say, no? No. Especially when you have this, it's fine. It's really not a big deal. The last straw for that was New Glenn's explosion. Yeah, I guess we got whispers of this purchase in Louisiana right after NG4, Rudy. Okay. I got you, brother. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're lying down, dude. Hey, B0, 68-month resub. Thank you. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now, dude. I just can't believe this, man. This is the
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I'll just go outright and say it. This is what I wanted the Saturn V to do. This is what I wanted the shuttle to do. This shuttle should have been this. This is what the shuttle should have been doing.
It should have been. And Starship is everything the shuttle wanted to be.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep. Hey, MC, what's up, dude? Welcome back, Mr. Strimmer, man. Thank you. 79-month resub. This is what EJ should have built in KSP. Should have. Ryan, have you seen that? Have you seen what I've been working on in KSP?
I have been.
Yeah. You see some of this? You see some of this? Look at this. You want? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gigabay. I don't need no VAB. I'll build my own freaking VAB in Gigabay with shuttles and boosters. Starbase LA and KSP. Starbase Louisiana and KSP when?
Yeah, Starbase Louisiana mod. Let's put 10 pads in.
I mean, with Kerbal constructs, I could probably make that happen. We'd need to basically double the size of Kerbal Space Center, but we could do that. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, that's so sick, dude.
It's gonna be fun because they're gonna do a lot of the dredging, and then they'll probably do water wicks and drain a lot of stuff, and then they'll find a way to try to compact it quick, and then that's gonna be the thing that'll take the longest is they'll have to let the soil compact because you can't just build on it right away; it'll sink. They kind of bypassed that issue with Pad 2 by just putting an utterly stupendous amount of reinforcement into it.
Mhm.
So we'll see what they do in Louisiana to bypass it, to try to speed up the process. Otherwise, they have to let it statically compact for it's like 2 years almost. They have to let it compact itself. So they'll probably try to find a way to bypass it. So CFA piles all over the place.
You could always just dynamically compact it if you really wanted to get it done fast. You'd need a lot of steamrollers. A lot of steamrollers.
Also, just gonna say those dredging companies are like, oh yeah,
Dude, yeah, somebody with a dredging company out there in Louisiana is going,
money,
money.
Oh, you want this done? Yes, please. We will do it.
We can dredge that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. How much is that going to cost?
Just this much. SpaceX will go. Here you go.
$5 billion? All right, cool. Here you go.
Yeah, dredging companies, earth moving companies. I mean, there are big projects. This is a pretty big project. It's going to require a lot of earth moving, dredging, and a bunch of other things. Some companies, contractors are going to make a killing off of this project. This is one of the biggest infrastructure projects in the U.S. in a long time.
What's bigger? Like, what's the last big one?
I mean, probably like some of the highway build stuff. I think through Boston and New York, and like some of the train restoration stuff on the Eastern Seaboard. The only thing that else would come close would be the high-speed rail that California was supposed to make.
Let's not talk about that. Yep. The Big Dig. Yeah.
Yeah. The Big Dig. I was thinking it probably comes close to one of the bigger infrastructure projects that the U.S. has been doing.
So,
some of the chip factories we've been making, and the only other one and there's another one that SpaceX is building. That's TerraFab. Yep. That's a giant infrastructure project. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm. So just a little bit of perspective here. You know, I'm from Boston. The Big Dig cost $15 billion.
This is $100 billion.
This is $100 billion investment. That's what I mean when if they say we're going to launch in 2029, I'm like, yeah, all right. I believe
I want to know how much TerraFab will cost in the end. Like, you're probably talking in the $200 to $500 billion range, and that's not an exaggeration. That is it's going to be one of the largest and most advanced chip manufacturing facility on the face of this planet.
My guess would be $50 billion.
When that's done, the sheer size of that facility makes it nearly one of the modern wonders of the world. I'm not kidding. That's how big that thing is.
TerraFab's gigantic. Oh yeah, no, I would guess $50 billion
or more.
No, I'd guess $50 billion.
This will be one of the. I mean, it's like, hey, yeah, we're just going to make a new spaceport from scratch, and it's not going to be a small spaceport. It's 10 pads, from scratch.
Rudy, what else you got? So the Navy said no, the USAF said yes. That's fair. Them disagreeing about stuff makes sense. The Navy has a say in Cape Canaveral. The Navy has a gigantic base on Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. What do they do with it? Navy things. Don't know.
They reload.
They do Navy things. Shh.
With nuclear submarines. What?
Anyway, Rudy, what's up? The team is also planning multiple spaceports in other regions, even somewhere close to you. I'm sorry, what?
Where? 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 Close to where? What? Huh? What? Cape Cod? I mean...
Rudy, if you build near me, expect my application. That's all I'm saying, brother. That's all I'm saying. I'm not kidding.
There's like the upper eastern seaboard. There's just not a lot of like area where there's not people near
That's
and
the problem.
good area to build. Like, forget the fact that it's higher above the equator. Starship doesn't really give a crap about that. It's more of you need to find a large enough chunk of coastline that's not used, that is in a state that would be willing to give it to SpaceX. That's yeah. I bet they've looked at a lot of things, and a lot of people have gone, no.
Doesn't Maine have space? Yeah. But see, here's the thing, fellas. All right?
That coastline is not great.
There's a Nova Scotia in the way, and then there's a Cape Cod in the way. Launching from out of here is pretty much good for sun synchronous, and that's about it. The most prime spot, like I said, would be where Chatham is. That's the best spot for a launch site in New England. If you want. If
you see like unlimited access out, but the problem is good luck with all the people that live there. Good luck.
there's NIMBYs here in Massachusetts left and right. Now, second thing though, guys, what if we get to the point where Starship is flying reliably enough where it doesn't need to be near water? Just putting it out there. Where else does that open up? There's a lot of space out here. Once you get off the seaboard, man, you get over the Continental Divide, there is nothing out there. Believe me, I've been there. I was just there. Like, you could, it's just like airports at that point, dude.
Discovery.
Build a pad at White Sands.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Look at rail hubs. Well,
water might suck though in those areas. You need a lot of water for Starship, and water in those areas suck. So I wouldn't put it there.
I'm thinking Michigan. Michigan wouldn't be bad. I'm dead serious.
If you could put it in a place to pull from the freshwater lakes that is the Great Lakes, there's a lot of people in farmland and around those areas.
Yes, there is. Rudy, what else you say? Wallops was in the plans, but prop access is a big problem. But when that project is close to going public, I'll let you know. Yeah. Would you consider moving to the spaceport to cover it, assuming a good salary? If there's a launch site that's close to me, as stated, yeah.
You know what SpaceX could do?
What?
Pull a United Arab Emirates and just build an island, and then, launch from it.
West Virginia might be good. There's too many mountains.
build an island offshore of Massachusetts. There, I mean, I don't know how deep that is.
It's pretty deep, but once you get off the divide, yeah. I mean, you're not building islands out here. I mean, maybe. But
that would be an engineering challenge that no one's ever tried to do that.
Yeah.
Build an island and build a launch complex on the island. The problem is then prop access, and it's all you have to ship and barge everything there, which would suck. That wouldn't be great.
What about the large amount of sonic booms? If you're 30 miles, if there's nothing within the launch site that's 30 miles out, you'll be fine. 30 miles, it would just sound just like pretty much a jet flying over. So that's like the big thing. Starship is going to need a big footprint, dude. There's also a plan for an international site too, maybe somewhere where we have good ITAR protection. That Australia, baby.
Which would be the Five Eyes and the Five Eyes Coalition. Yeah, Australia, New Zealand. Plug it down. What, Western Australia? Got a lot of room there. You even got a lot of room in Eastern Australia. You just got to find the right coastline.
Sunshine Coast would do it. Up here.
Yeah.
there's not a lot of people in Australia. There's not a lot of stuff there, but
No, it's all spread out. A lot of it's spread out. You'd have to find the right spot. And then, I mean, flying over the Solomons, that's not really that big of an issue. There's a lot of room between the Sunshine Coast and to Iron Bottom Sound or the Solomon Islands. You're talking 1,000 miles. Like, that's pretty far.
You could always launch inland in Australia too.
You could set up a base in Western Australia. You could set up a base in Western Australia and fly over Australia, because by the time you get to the other coastline, it's
I mean, guys,
it's 2,300 miles.
You get out into the Northern Territory and then parts of Western Australia, there's nothing out there. It is more barren than like the Mojave. It's yeah. It would be
There's
like
nothing there.
It would be like if there was nothing, like nobody in the United States west of the Mississippi, because Australia is as big as the U.S. It's gigantic. It's freaking huge. I mean, you're not gonna launch down here. I mean, off the southern tip of Tasmania would be kind of funny, but that's too far south for me. Ideal.
A really good location for you could do Madagascar. You could do there's some tips of off Africa. The problem is the countries there, it ain't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Alaska's off the table. Try to convince someone who's worked in Texas their entire life to move to Australia. Yeah, or move to Alaska. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And not only that, Alaska's not really your SSO, and that's it. Really.
Yeah, guys, here's just the thing about launch sites here. Launch sites, Kerbal thinks you want like equatorial. Like you think in Kerbal, like, oh, we're launching the equator. That's great. With a launch site that's near the equator, right? Yeah, it's easy to get into equatorial prograde orbits, right? But you got to think about it. If you're a launch provider, you got to think about demand. The Department of Defense there's a lot of demand there, and they like sun-synchronous orbits. So that's launching basically due south or due north, depending on, where your launch site is. But, and those polar orbits are actually favored for higher north and south latitudes. So the closer you are to the North Pole, the easier it is to get into a polar orbit. Yeah. I know, weird. If you're near the equator, it's easier to get into an equatorial orbit. If you're near the poles, it's easier to get into a polar orbit. Weird how that works, right? That's because of how the Earth spins. It's an oblate spheroid, right? It bulges at the center, so you get velocity gains and losses if you're trying to go polar. Now, with all that being said, with something like Starship, I've been saying this for a while, if I was a launch provider, I'd be looking 20 to 40 degrees north and south latitude. Obviously you're not going to find something on the equator in the United States. 20 to 40 degrees is fine. So basically anywhere from KSC all the way up to basically New York City, or maybe even Boston, like that anywhere in here is fine. Because you can do either one. And it's not that big of a deal. Canada? No, Canada is way too far north. No, you might be able to get away with Nova Scotia, but that's still way too far north. Yeah, Rudy, we were talking about that. You can get into anything from here. You just do a dogleg trajectory around Port Fourchon. You can get into low inclinations, no problem. Sun synchronous, easy. Retrograde, yeah, if you really want to. Yeah, that Louisiana site is clutch, man. It's really good. Yeah, use the descending node. Like if I was telling people a little bit earlier, if you wanted to launch the ISS, you just use descending node insertion, go that way. You just go southeast. When they launch out of Kennedy, going to the ISS, they go They go this way. They launch up the coast. You could just do the opposite of that and then go that way when the ISS goes by that way. Boom. That's an ISS orbit. You could get into a low inclination orbit by doing something like that right there. You just fly a little bit of a dogleg trajectory, right? So, yeah, you're going to use up a little bit of delta V. You have 100-ton payload capacity. Oh no, instead of 60 Starlink V3s, we can only move 50 into orbit this time. Yeah, it ain't no... Oh no, oh no, the Starship, the next Starship that's teed up, that's launching tomorrow, that's going to have 50 as well. Oh no. How flat do they need the surrounding terrain to be, actually? I would say, I mean, Aqualex, it's more about infrastructure at this point where you choose your launch sites. It's this is why people always said, like, oh, launch from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico would be fine. It's a little low inclination for my taste, but yeah, it'd be fine. It's just you got to get stuff there. And there's a lot of people. But, yeah. Would the RTLS boost back also have the dog leg? Drew? No. Here. Well, yes and no. All right, so Super Heavy would go out here.
Diagonal boost back, really. What would it be?
It would go out here, and Super Heavy could fly a little bit of that dog leg trajectory, and then you could do that boost back, but the boost back would honestly boost it that way. I know that sounds stupid, right? Like, wait, aren't the sites over there? Well, yeah, but the Earth spins. You got to take into account Earth rotation. So boost back would probably be targeting over here somewhere. And then by the time Super Heavy comes back down, the planet will rotate into position. Yes, that's how boost back trajectories work. You have to take into account not where the launch site is currently, but where it's going to be. That is especially important during the boost back burn. Not so much during the descent, grid fins, and everything. That's not that big of a deal. You're not taking into account rotation at that point. It's the boost back that matters. So yeah, so a boost would probably end up. I mean, it's probably not that much rotation, but a boost back trajectory would probably look like that.
The boost back burn sets the flyback trajectory, and your grid fins are
they hone it in.
To hone it in and fine tune it.
Yep.
That was the word. That was the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, dude. The grid fins are just for, just tweaking the trajectory and getting it right. What is this, Aqualex, for an inland? Where are we?
Where?
We're in northern Oregon. Yeah, out here, yeah, sure. I mean, you got access to the confluence and stuff, like, so you have seawater access, but sure, there's not much infrastructure out here in terms of power, from what I understand. Could be wrong. Well, what's that? Well, you got rail. I'd probably think they should end up doing it from over here, from the airport, but yeah. Oh, no, the dam's in the way. Probably don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, inland, yeah. With inland stuff, just look for stuff that doesn't have stuff to the east of it, and you're kind of set. Massive power from the dam. Yeah. There you go. Technically, you can get it in every orbit you want from Louisiana. Dogleg, you'll take a big Delta V hit, but if the tanker is waiting for you to give you enough prop for the return flight, it's worth it. Yep, exactly. Person, question. How about east of Houston and west of Beaumont, Port Arthur? I mean, this right here is where their launch site. Isn't that where that's the launch site right here.
Yeah.
West of Belmont, Port Arthur. So, like, right here in Galveston Bay? Yeah, maybe, but they're already right there. I don't think they'd put two spaceports next to each other, but then, I don't know. Rudy, what else are you saying? The discussion for Louisiana launch site was this. We can't get enough LOX production, and we have some problems with getting the launch rate permits due to range conflicts and blast detonation zone. Okay, fine, we'll build it ourselves. You got 48 hours, find me a launch site. God, I love that. Oh, I love it. It's all right. Fine. Find another place. Yeah, dude.
Hey, Louisiana, we're gonna bring a bunch of jobs to you. Okay, we're gonna build a big spaceport. Cool. All right, build it.
Yeah.
Here's $100 billion investment into your state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Money, like I said, fellas, money talks, dude. That's why I think this. That's why I think this is going to get done a lot faster than everybody thinks it is. $100 billion invested into space flight. That's no joke, man. That's probably more capital investment than we've seen in all of space flight over the past 20 years. I'm dead serious about that. That is more than what Jeff is sinking. All the other startups.
Even accounting for inflation, that is more than NASA put into all of its facilities for the Apollo program. Think about that.
That's what I mean, dude. This is no joke.
It's a lot of money.
Money. So, person, I already answered your question a second ago, but I'll say it again. It's unlikely that there would be one in Galveston Bay, like, when this is right down the road. Like, I don't think so. Meet innovation. Money. We got flies again. Frick. LOX production in the Cape is hell. The infrastructure is so bad. Rudy,
it's old as hell.
I read the a report about this. Dude, it's not even just LOX. It's not even just LOX. The freaking power, dude, the power grid for the Cape is
it's bad. The OIG report on that infrastructure was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like what it was.
It was not great, dude. Guys, the entire, so first of all, NASA foots the bill for all the rockets on the Cape for fuel, for liquid oxygen, which is dumb. That's stupid. I can't believe that NASA gets stuck with the freaking bill for all the DoD missions, with the fuel bill for all the DoD missions. Seriously, all the fueling infrastructure comes from NASA's facilities. Moreover, the electrical is also NASA. Look at this, dude. The freaking power grid's gonna freaking take a dump, man. The transformers are freaking, oh yeah, there they are. There's 3 transformers. See?
That's it. For a site that big, they need like 12.
Yeah. And now, once again, they did build 2 more down here. That was very recent. But see those 2 transformers right there and these breakers? That's original Cape infrastructure. They added one in the 90s. Yeah. Crazy, right?
That's
the
bad.
Power infrastructure is inadequate. The LOX infrastructure is caca.
Like what?
It's not
just to quickly say it, and just really quickly, there was a whole space initiative announced on our vision for space for the future for America, and I'm like, great, awesome. Now put your money where your mouth is and stop cutting NASA funding. Shut up and pay the money.
Yeah.
And help them infrastructure. That's what I say. Words are great. Put your money where your mouth is and help them with infrastructure.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that'd be, I'm not going to say no to more NASA funding. So this is the ASU. It's run by Airgas right here for the Cape. Rudy, what are you telling me about here? Take a look at the LOX production site, the ASU. They ran the power lines through Orangeburg pipe. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. So, Rudy, you offered to pay for upgrades to the LOX facility. Other providers refused, signaling a conflict of interest.
What? If the other providers refused, then, well,
we get it.
You're using
NASA's
it,
stuck
so
with the bill
you
for
pay
crap.
They are.
Anyway, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
I don't think you do get it. Gross. Anyway, you guys need sign. Yeah, that guy's funny, dude. Tony LC sign just tipped the stream, but it's not. I don't think that's him. That'd be funny though. Anyway, what were we saying? Conflict of interest, right? Like, okay, sure.
Hey, if SpaceX is willing to pay for it, then let them pay for it. Like, right? Like, what? Who cares?
Rudy,
So dumb.
I know good and well who said no, conflict of interest. I know good and well who vetoed that decision.
Jeffrey Bezos. Probably. This numpty.
That's what happened.
Jeffrey Bezos.
You did it!
You blew it!
You blew it! I can't believe that. Well, hey, whatever. I mean, all I'm saying is that a row of Starship pads like right here would be really, really cool. But
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Or like even right here, put like 5 or 6 right there. That's no problem. But yeah, no. Cape infrastructure is inadequate. That's fine. Whatever. I mean, like I said, this isn't as big as KSC, but it's almost as big. Cape Canaveral, but it's almost as big as Cape Canaveral. It's pretty damn close.
It's
So
and SpaceX is base, and like I think SpaceX is gonna get a blank check to do whatever the hell they want with it. Basically, build whatever they want, do whatever they want, and make it out however they want to be. I think they're basically just gonna get a blank check, clean slate to be able to do it all.
Rudy, you're saying the common tone was that we'll get preferred LOX access compared to them. Yeah. In the current state, SLS cannot launch with Starship on the pad.
Then I would say to Jeff, then pay for your locks, you words, but pay for it then. You have the money. Dear Lord, man. Pay for it. Shut up and pay. That's all I would say.
That pissed me off when I read that NASA foots the bill for everyone. Anyway, let's get into what's going on with the next vehicles for flight, for the next flight here. So this was oh yeah, this gets loud, by the way. This was, Ship 41. This was last week. Yeah, here, headphone users. You got 10 seconds. This gets real loud. I've seen this video before. All right, here we go. Yeah. So the thing is that that was just one. That was the first static fire. They did another one. Where's the full duration stuff? Oh, here we go. This also gets loud, so, you know. Well, that was nice. So they did a single engine test, and then they did a full duration. And for Ship 41. So Ship 41 is good to go, Ryan, right? Like, that's all. You don't need to do anything else with this thing. She's
no
good.
more testing. They just got to do whatever finalization stuff inside the bay and then load the payload. I think there's some regulatory hurdles as why the net date for some of the stuff is indicating middle of September right now because of I think regulatory and finishing up a few things. Remember, this is gonna be their first orbital mission. They want to make sure everything's good, and they can't afford to lose another booster, like without completing everything. So I think they're making sure everything's good to go before they launch this thing.
Dude, I saw some stuff in the regulatory notes that indicated booster and ship catch. What's that about?
That's just FCC filings.
They're probably not going to do that, right?
No, I think there's no based off what Elon was saying and everyone else. There's no catch on this flight at all. This is orbital. This is an operational Starlink mission with no catching. Maybe go for broke on the next one. We'll see if this one is perfect. That's my guess is what they're going to do.
So that begs the question: where's Ship 41 coming down?
My guess would be the Pacific, somewhere off Hawaii. That'd be my guess. I don't think they'll bring it to the Gulf. I don't really see. They would need approval to do that. I don't know if they have the full-on approval to bring it back to the Gulf itself. They might need specific approval from the FAA to do that. Because it's not in an abort scenario or something like that. But I think it would land. I think it's going to land in the Gulf. That's my guess. Land in the Pacific. I mean, land in the Pacific is what I'd say.
Spicy opinion here. What if they put Ship 40 on one side of Forte for a reason?
Well, you think that's going to stay out there?
Where would it be in 2 weeks? You said it was going to take a month.
I don't know if it has another job.
You said it was going to take a month.
There's not another cradle, though.
It can make a stop. Maybe they haven't made it yet.
I kind of doubt it.
Oh, come on. It's a good theory. Don't you kind of doubt it?
Nah.
Come on.
I don't think so.
No. Person has a question for you, Ryan. Are they going to use the test structure behind that stand again? It was really only used for Ship 39 and only. Are they waiting for V4?
No, they've used it for every single ship. They've done flap testing with it. When they take the ships out for cryo, they hook up to the forward and aft flaps and they test them during cryo. They have not done the squeeze testing Ship 39. That is now going to be done with S43.1, the structural test article nose cone. But they still use that structure for like access to the ship, and then they test the flaps with it. So I don't know if they'll use it for anything else in the future. They keep doing work on it, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Can we say that SpaceX is already testing horizontal transportation of the ship? You know, you could
yeah.
You could say that. That hang on. Hang on. Hang on a second. You could say that yeah. I'd say but Jojo, I'd say they're getting some experience with horizontal transport here. That's a real picture, dude. Forte scooped up Ship 40 last night.
Last night, U.S. time during the day out there. But yeah.
Rudy, when you say SF, what does that mean? San Francisco? Would recommend doing another Route 154 trip. Go to Go to the SF coast late September. San Francisco coast? What are we talking about here?
You guys, that would mean you're taking it through the South China Sea, up through Pacific, along the coast of the United States, and then through the Panama Canal. That's what that means. If I'm catching the drift right.
Well, the Forte is at anchor, so, I don't know, it doesn't drift very much. All right, well. The plans are still fluid. Yeah, I got you. Either way, man, Forte can move it wherever. Like, you could, this Forte, I believe Forte could fit in the Panama Canal. It's definitely skinny
It'd
enough.
have to go through the Panamax, so the newer canal. It'd have to go through that one.
But are they going to let a ship? So, guys, the big thing with Ship 40 is that the charges for the flight termination system, while inactive, have been at sea, and you don't know what they're going to do, and you don't need this thing blowing up in the locks in the Panama Canal. That's kind of the thing that they're dealing with. Yeah, Cape of Good Hope is going to suck. I'm not sure if Forte could negotiate seas like that. I mean, maybe. I don't know. That would be a question for Sal.
They should be able to.
Yeah?
Sal was thinking that's the best option they've got is run through the Cape of Good Hope, around the southern part of, around South Africa, come up through the South Atlantic, and then through the Caribbean Sea, and then up through the Gulf.
Yeah, you could do that way. Yeah, that's I agree with that.
Because the only other route other than those two is to go through the Suez, which is through Houthi territory in the Middle East.
There's no way they'd do that. Not with this. Not with a rocket.
No. So there's three routes. They can go through Panama Canal, but they also have to go through the South China Sea as well. I don't know if they want to do that either. So my guess is Cape of Good Hope. Those seas aren't too bad.
Yeah, no, that should be okay.
Speaking.
We need to find the Northwest Passages. You know what I was thinking, Mayor? I'm like, man, it'd be really nice if they just dug a canal so you wouldn't have to go around South America. Oh, yeah, they did that already. Now, Cape of Good Hope is good. Going through the Panama Canal will have us going towards Japan. Yeah. You don't want to bust this thing past China. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Good call. Yeah.
So that's It may take like an extra day or two or a few days. That's why you run the way to or the Cape of Good Hope. It is the most logical way for them to go. Honestly, no canals, no issues, no going past China. It's a relatively straight line home.
China. What? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sal laid out the routes in his last few videos. Yeah, well, I've been out of the loop, dudes. But yeah. All right. Well, guys, I think we covered the spread there. That's yeah. Oh, this is also there too. Check this out. This is coming from Dave Limp. This isn't SpaceX stuff. I should have covered this a second ago. Team Blue and our partners at Stennis have rapidly completed the structural design for the B2 test stand cell position, moving us towards second stage vehicle testing. Steel work is underway and tubing is being installed. Cable harnesses are being built up, and the control room is getting its finishing touches. Next up, a GS2 makes its way to Mississippi.
So there's two GS2 test facilities. There's the one that's relatively right next to their production facility, and then one at Stennis. Then
they're gonna build two more on the Cape with Yeah, with the MTS, the mobile test stand, their thing that they were using to test the second stage at Complex 36, they're gonna make that into a dedicated test stand.
Using an old Ares 1 launch mount.
Dude, I want to believe, but somebody told me that the Ares 1 mounts were just there for balance, which pisses me off.
Oh.
Whatever.
Oh.
I really hope they do use that. That would be super cool.
I mean, it would make sense. It's a big hole. Let's modify it and stick it in there, right? You know,
the hole is wide enough to accommodate a fixture like this because Ares 1, you got to remember, like the SRBs are 3.7 meter, but where the skirt goes, it fans out to 5 meter, right? And then you have the hold down points, right? So the portal, I guess, through the Ares 1 deck is almost 7 meters wide, which would be more than enough for a test stand base plate. That'd be really good for it, actually. That's a perfect piece. Yeah, Soulside, we already covered that. Yeah, Nancy Grace Roman is scheduled to launch on the 30th. Yeah, I'll be here for that. Absolutely. You think I'm gonna miss a Falcon Heavy launch? What are you, nuts?
been a while since we've had one.
No, I'm not missing that one. Have we seen any New Glenn boosters or stage 2s? There's a couple of GS2s around, but they're yeah, they're there. And then there's Never Tell Me the Odds, which is the New Glenn stage which has flown and been reused. It has 2 flights under its belt. When is NGR launch again? When is New Glenn going to launch again? I think that's what you're asking. My guess would be springtime next year. I mean, Ryan, I said 12 months after the NG4 thing happened, and everybody called me a nut bar. And then
I said 12 to 18 is what I was thinking. Yeah. So I would say, and it was May, so yeah, it's late spring. That's my guess.
And then Dave Limp came out.
They're not making it this year. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Dave Limp came out and said, "Oh, we'll get the launch in 6 months." I'm like, yeah. Nah.
Sure.
Oh, Nancy Grace Roman. Yeah, it's the 30th. It's in the morning, so I'll be here. I'll be here on Sunday morning. Sure. I have some stuff to do on Sunday afternoon, guys. It's very rare that you catch me streaming on a Sunday ever. I don't stream on Sundays unless there's a good reason to, and that's a good enough reason.
That's a good reason to. It's a flagship NASA mission.
Yeah, I'm in for a near infrared space telescope. Yeah, I'm wide near infrared. Yeah, we should do that. Is it true that Nancy Grace Roman is like 100 times Hubble? It's so immolated. It's kind of a different lens, so a different spectrum of light. Hubble's visible spectrum. James Webb is infrared. This is near infrared. If I'm understanding this correctly, it doesn't really work this way, immolated. But if Nancy Grace Roman was a visible light spectrum space telescope, it would make Hubble look like a Polaroid camera. Yes. Like, you know, the Polaroids and the thing pops out the front. Yes. It's not the same type of space telescope, so it's hard to compare it. That's like comparing a radio to a television, right? It's not, you know, it's kind of the same idea, but it's not. Right? So, but if it was, oh yeah, it would, it's way better. Polaroids are awesome, just saying. Well, yeah, of course, Polaroids was from Massachusetts. It's a direct Hubble replacement with a massive view. It covers everything Hubble can see.
Kind of.
It can span visible right to near infrared wavelengths. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. So it can hit into visible. So yes, immolated. The right way to say it would be yes. Anyway, what's up? Want to know a funny story? A couple of days post New Glenn explosion, Blue's employees were actively poaching builders and welders and employees outside the gates of 37 and 39A and the bars in the area. I'd believe that. They got a lot of work to do over there, man.
I bet that is totally not soured relations at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go, weather guy. That's what it is. Yeah, it's not exact. I got to do more homework before we cover that launch then. Yeah, Blue's got a bit, like I said, when NG4 happened, they got a big problem on their hands. Personally, I really think Blue needs to build out more New Glenn 7x2 pads before they, build right to 9x4. Because their entire concept of operations relies on one 7x2 pad and one 9x4 pad, and that's it. They might be building other pads, but if I was Dave Limp right now, I'd be building at least 2 New Glenn 7x2 pads.
Just to say this, the Blue wants to fly a lot as well. They have aspirations to do a lot of things, and it's like Starship was already in the building 5 pads, and now they just announced another 10. And here you are with 2.
For 2 different rockets.
Yeah, basically.
Will I be in a suit for Nancy Roman? Yeah, I think so. I think that would be appropriate, yes. The only thing that Hubble can do that it can't is that Hubble can technically get into low UV. So yeah, it would be better to say that it's just, it's better. The good side I'm hearing is that Blue's ERP is now moving in SpaceX style. I wish them the best. They definitely have a fire lit under their tail, Rudy, from what I've seen, from what people have been telling me, which is great. But really, you gotta launch. You gotta launch. They need so Rudy, the I think a good way to say it was they need their Falcon 9. They need New Glenn to work like Falcon 9. It needs to work like that. You need something that's reliable, that can launch a lot with multiple pads. One 7x2 pad and one 9x4 pad is not going to do that. They have a backlog of satellites for Project
There's
Kuiper.
So many. Amazon Leo.
Yeah, they have a backlog. You got to start launching. And if you don't, you got a big problem. Like, you're not going to do that. I really do. I'm not going to say you're not going to do that, because I would love to be proven wrong, and I hope they do, right? But one pad, you're going to do that with one pad. You need at least 2. Like, if you look at, when SpaceX, they did 160 Falcon 9 flights last year, right?
They ran 3 pads to do it.
They ran 3 pads to do it. And that's the type of cadence that you're going to need to hit Amazon Leo's goals. Like for the FCC stuff as well, which they got an extension for, but the FCC licensing, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, no more turtle. That's good, man. Think this is going to fix their weird forced rocket streams? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, Ryan, thank you for doing space news with me. It's fun.
It is fun.
Cool. All right.
Especially when we talk about 5-10 new pads.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. I'm so happy about that. That was, I needed to hear that, man. That's so cool. The bigger the rocket, the bigger the complexity, the bigger the danger. The work to mishap-proof a fully fueled Starship stack is mind-blowing. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind, dude. I don't know what's wrong with that, Aqualix. I have no idea. I can't figure that one out. I think it's flagging NGR. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. If you just do N space G space R, and it won't flag it. I don't know. That's stupid. Wait, blue is expanding south of 36.2, not just north. Yeah, I know, Rudy. We'll see. I hope that's more pads. You need 2 to 3.
They should take 46
I think that's going to happen, yes.
for a 9x4. 46 for 9x4. Build it. You need the pads.
I would want a twin New Glenn launch complex down there for 7x2, not 9x4. With New Glenn's ConOps, I would honestly switch to a mobile launcher. Switch to an ML like Slick 41. Ryan, something like the ITL Causeway would be, with Titan, would be mint for something like that. Put it on rails. I'm not even kidding.
I think they're trying to copy SpaceX with those chopsticks. They're trying to. It's funny.
Stupid.
It's funny.
There's no point in making your pad do self-integration like that unless you're catching. That's really... New Glenn is not that type of rocket. That makes no sense. Just build a dedicated landing pad, build a 4-bay integration complex, 4-bay VAB, and switch to mobile launchers. That is the type. That's what New Glenn needs. This, catch arms nonsense, like we'll integrate with a lattice crawler crane and achieve high launch cadence. No,
I'm like,
okay. Stop it. Stop.
I love how their ConOps went to, we're gonna use a crane. I'm like, oh boy, yeah, good luck. Have fun with a high flight rate on that one.
Is the pad really the bottleneck for New Glenn? It was made heavy to be even more rapidly reusable than Falcon. Yeah, it doesn't matter how rapidly reusable your rocket is if you don't have a launch pad to launch it off of. They're not the only one doing the Mechazilla clone. That's... Rudy, chopsticks make no sense if you're not catching. If it only makes sense if you're, shipping and receiving. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
And even if it's just booster, it makes sense. At least try to catch your booster if you're going to do that.
Yeah, with 7x2, you're going to land it. They land at a landing pad. Like, they land on Jacqueline or whatever. So now you're entering ConOps that are similar to Falcon 9. That's why I say, like, mobile launchers. You're not... Blue wants to get away from using a transporter erector. They want to get away from using their TE, right? Because they don't have it anymore. Switching to vertical integration, yeah, mobile launchers is the ticket, dude. That's the ticket. Just like Slick 41. I would say 39A, but that's... You're not going to... Doing on-pad integration like that with a lattice crane is bananas. You would need you would really want a mobile service tower. Like... Because, some type of mobile service tower building that has some type of clean room environment for payload fairing integration. Like, that is... What are you doing? Like, why? Why would you do this way? That makes no sense. You're making it more complicated than it needs to, but it looks like it's simpler. It's not. I don't need to tell you that. Yeah, crane on top of the tower, exactly. Yeah, the sticks makes no sense. That's just needless complication. Did you see the 36B launch mount? Yeah, I saw it, dude. I saw it. Anyway,
don't even get me started on that design.
We could keep talking till we're blue in the face, but I think it's time to play some Battlefield. I think it's time for some after hours, dudes.
That sounds like a plan.
All right, let's get to it then. So that's going to do it for the Space and Rocket Review. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. There will be another Space and Rocket Review tomorrow. We can continue this discussion then. Ryan, like I said, thank you for being here. Yeah,
it's always fun.
I took a break from playing Battlefield until Season 4 came out, and now we're gonna give it a shot. And I'm probably still gonna get annoyed with it. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Great. I'm so happy about this. I am going to try my best, and Ryan, I would appreciate it if you did it as well with me, to not raise my voice playing Battlefield and give it a fair. Okay, copy that. I'll try my best to do that, and I will give you guys.
I'm gonna grab a snack real quick,
All right.
and then you can do your transition and everything like that.
Cool.
So.
All right, I'm going to try my best to do that, and I'm going to try my best to give season 4 a fair shot. So that's what we'll do. And I will see you guys in a second on Twitch. You don't have to go anywhere on YouTube. I'm going to cycle the VOD here. So Space News gets put in its own VOD. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in a second.